KMOX.
Let's take it from the top.
Good morning. Happy Super Bowl Monday. Hope you're doing okay. Hopefully you don't have a headache. Maybe you're at work, maybe not. I think something like 22 million Americans are taking off work today. We're here for you, though. And sitting next to me is not Chris Ranji, but Michael Kelly filling in for Chris Ranji, who is who knows where. But appreciate you joining us, Michael.
Yeah, it was a bad game yesterday, but fun, all the hoopla nonetheless, right?
A lot to break down. If you are listening on 11:20 a.m., thank you very much. You can also try out 98.7 FM. It is clearer, especially along that Highway 40 corridor. Even better, download the Odyssey app. You can take us with you wherever you go. You can follow us on Twitter at Chris Amy KMOX. And we do encourage you to leave a voice message for us on the Odyssey app. Go to the KMOX page, click on KMOX, and you'll see a little microphone icon. You can leave us a voice message. We want to hear your thoughts about the Super Bowl. What did you make of the game? What did you think of the commercials? Did you love the halftime show? Michael and I have some thoughts on that, and also like a pretty depressing conclusion to that. But we do want to hear from you. So again, the Odyssey app, leave us a voice message. You can always text and call at 314-436-7900.
Time now for the top of the order. The top three stories everybody will be talking about.
Well, as I mentioned, the Philadelphia Eagles beat the Kansas City Chiefs in Super Bowl 59. The Eagles trounced the Chiefs 40-22, which actually makes it sound a bit closer than it was.
It was just a week ago. We were in the 70s. Well, guess what? We may have accumulating snow this week. We'll check in on what's going on with the snow and whether or not our region's prepared.
And football is over, and that means baseball is back. You're not going to believe it, but pitchers and catchers report tomorrow. In fact, our own KMOX sports fella, Matt Pauley, is on an airplane right now on his way to Jupiter.
What an assignment that is. Now, I do feel sorry for Matt because I spent some time down in Jupiter and I run into him, and for a whole month he's away from his wife and kids, and he's got little kids.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, how do you complain about, my job has sent me to Palm Beach for a month?
Yeah. No,
I'd like that gig.
Do you know, I've never been to spring training.
Yeah.
My whole life.
Really?
Been to Cardinals games, been to World Series games, playoff games, but I've never been to spring training. Now I know you'll get down there a bit.
Right. So here's the secret about spring training. It's the feeling and the energy that baseball and summer is coming back that really drives it. Because honestly, the games at the beginning of the year, sure, the Tom Ackermans, the Kevin Wheelers know the names of these, young children that are out there playing, but you'll have no clue who they are. And then as we get later, the last 10, 12 days of spring training is the best time to be there because that's when you're going to see the players of names and what the team's going to look like. So otherwise, it's more just the camaraderie and the feeling of being down there with Cardinal fans.
Well, we will keep, obviously, getting updates from Matt Pauley, keep you updated on spring training. But before we say goodbye to the football season, a lot to unpack from yesterday. I think we should do this as well. Like I said, we really want to hear from you today. The Odyssey app, the voice message feature, the microphone icon on the KMOX page on the Odyssey app. Leave us a voice message. We can play it on the air. You can also text us at 314-436-7900. Here's a Twitter poll I think we need to get up there. What are people talking about more today? The game or the halftime show? Because I would argue that both were boring. However, like I said, I was texting about the halftime show. I know who Kendrick Lamar is. I actually knew the song Not Like Us. I knew that song. I had heard it.
It was all one song.
It felt like one song, and I texted that to Chris Ranji and our producer, Matt Pajeski, and Matt said, and I quote, "Don't be so old."
Ugh.
And I think I'm old, guys. I get it. I'm old.
I'm with you, Amy. I'm on a thread with my sisters.
Yeah.
and my family. And I texted the same thing, which was my only reaction, because I didn't want to be
Yeah.
like, I hated that.
Yeah.
Was I'm old, because I didn't understand any of it. Now I know the name Kendrick Lamar.
Uh-huh.
I did not know one song, one beat, one hook, one rhyme that he had.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know. I think that the reason that I found the halftime more disappointing than the game is because there's an expectation there could be a blowout in the game.
Yeah.
And if it's your team, by the way, if you were a Philadelphia Eagle fan yesterday was one of the greatest days ever. I mean, it was a lot of fun. That halftime was boring to me in the sense that I thought it was so narrowly focused to those who could have appreciated it. I was texting with my mom, who's, several decades older than me, a couple of decades older than me, my sisters, and even some people younger than me that didn't have any clue what was going on.
I feel like it's hard to say someone's niche when you have just won 5 Grammys for your song with Kendrick Lamar. And not that he is niche, but it's almost like the show. When I say niche, I mean young people. I think if you were between the ages of 17 and 25, it was one of the best ever. You got everything. I think we're just old. I think this is how our parents must have felt when they heard some of our music. And okay, Matt, you can jump in here too, because I agree with you, Michael. It felt like one song. And like I said, I understood, I recognize the beat of Not Like Us, but doesn't Kendrick Lamar, he has a distinct type of rap that's different than old school rap. It's different than the horrible anti-Semitic Kanye West, but everybody knows Kanye songs, right? You can dance to them.
It's got a hook in it.
Yeah, but
that doesn't have a hook.
Kendrick's songs are a little bit more monotonous, or his rap style's a bit more monotonous, or his voice is more monotone, I should say. A lot of his songs are kind of like racially charged. There's a lot of hard-hitting issues about him growing up in Compton in a bad neighborhood, and they're not dance songs or hip hop songs from the 80s and 90s that you would dance to. So it was definitely a different feel for sure. I going back to what you said about being old. I think being old is a mindset. You can be an older person and look at this and say, you know what, this isn't really my music. I didn't grow up with this, but I can understand what they're going for.
And I agree with you on that. I didn't diss it.
Yeah, sure. But then for other people to be like, this ain't music, they should have Kiss up there.
Kiss. We're not that old.
I know. Those guys are 80 years old. I don't want to see them limping around the stage either. Even I like that music though too. I like old music and I like some of Kendrick Lamar's music too. I like both, but you got to appeal to a different.
Let's be honest though. The NFL probably symbolizes and sums up America more than anything, right? It's commercials, it's marketing, it's violence, it's all this stuff that has become America. And heck, the commercials cost what, $8 million?
Yes.
If that's to attract people to be invited to spend their money, first of all, 18 to 25-year-olds, I'm sure I would have loved it too. I had 2 nickels to run together at that time. So if you wanted to do rap or racial, you could have done Run DMC. You could have done Eminem. You could have done something that would have had a broader appeal. If you wanted to, you could have had Paul McCartney was there, for gosh sakes. He's the modern day, a living Beethoven.
I think this is,
and I'm listening to this guy.
but that's how old we are, Michael, because apparently, I think I read this, that Kendrick Lamar was heavily influenced by Eminem because Eminem's 50 something.
Right.
But
Eminem has a hook and we all know Eminem.
So I get that.
It was the worst Super Bowl ever simply because none of us knew a song, can remember it. Remember, you sent around Prince. You've sent around Michael Jackson or Bruce Springsteen. Nobody's going to be sending that around.
So to the point of being old, I am old at this, and I was old when I was a kid, but I'm still old. But here's the thing. Driving home from the Super Bowl party yesterday, I was doing this. Pink Pony Club, I'm gonna keep on dancing. And I was listening to Chappell Roan, which is a young person's artist, right? So I'm not completely oblivious because here I am, 41 years old, singing Pink Pony Club with Chappell Roan, who's, not really my style altogether, but she has some really catchy songs, and I listen to that. So I'm not completely oblivious. And Kendrick Lamar is an older age group, I would say, than Chappell Roan.
Oh, yeah.
He's much older. He's been around longer. Here's where I felt old, like we didn't get it. There were so many nods to things that I didn't follow, like the Drake Kendrick Lamar feud, and how Kendrick Lamar called Drake a pedophile in that song, and he pretty much did it on the Super Bowl as well. Like all the lyrics towards Drake were about Drake being a pedophile. And then SZA, the rapper, and Serena Williams, who did the Crip Walk dance, like on the stage. I didn't know this. Again, I had to look it up. Those are two of Drake's exes.
Okay.
So it felt very much like an inside, not an inside joke, but an inside show that the young kids who really cared
like
about
5%
Drake.
of the country.
Yeah. Like they really got it and thought it was awesome. But because I don't follow the drama of any celebrities, much less like Drake and whose Drake's exes are, I just felt kind of out of it.
I don't know. I think the NFL failed, and not because the music was bad or whatever. It's just not going to stand up. It's not a Super Bowl halftime you're going to remember. Let's play that one again. That was so much fun. I thought it was disappointing. Now, to the contrary, did you see the music before the Super Bowl? Before with Harry Connick and the
Lady Gaga on Bourbon
Lady
Street.
Gaga. I was like, boy, that was awesome. All that music.
Trombone Shorty. Oh, John Baptiste.
John Baptiste.
Oh my gosh, I love that guy.
That entire hour of music there was incredible.
Yeah.
You're actually completely right. Having John Baptiste singing the national anthem, Trombone Shorty and Lauren Daigle with America the Beautiful, and then Lady Gaga did her show playing the piano on Bourbon Street. That was really good.
There were two people in particular I was thinking about during the Super Bowl halftime performance while I was mind blown what was going on. Number one is, like I said, Paul McCartney. There's a living Beethoven in the room. And I just wonder, I mean, there's a guy who's going to appreciate art, so maybe he liked it or whatever. But, I mean, that guy could go down there and sing one song that would have blown us all away, and we had to listen to whatever that was. And the other one was President Trump, and I was thinking, good for you. This is your Super Bowl halftime performance. No, what do they call them? YMCA guys. No, village people.
Village people, right.
The village people, at least people would have known the song.
Well, like I said, if you know Kendrick Lamar, and again, we want to hear from you this morning. People did say that, like Matt said, he hits heavy topics. He has racially charged topics that he talks about issues. He raps about issues that it did seem to be something of a juxtaposition with Kendrick Lamar. Like, all right, I'm doing my show with my issues. And you did have Donald Trump there as well. Although I don't know what Donald Trump knows about Kendrick Lamar. He doesn't seem like something he'd be reading the lyrics to because, I don't know what he is. At any rate, we want to hear from you. He's Michael Kelly. I'm Amy Markscourse, 314-436-7900. To text us, you can also leave us a voice message on the Odyssey app. It's the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
Could you make $500,000 in retirement savings feel like $1 million, or $1 million feel like $2 million? You could. The key is having a comprehensive financial plan for taxes, Social Security, inflation, healthcare, income, and more. Discover how you could make your money go a lot further in retirement in a 3-hour adult education class called Retirement Planning 101. Hey, it's Sue Thomas, and this is a one-night class taught by a fiduciary advisor from Financial and Tax Architects with decades of financial planning experience. And they hold these at colleges and libraries throughout St. Louis. There's no cost, but bring 3 canned goods for St. Louis Crisis Nursery. If you've saved $300,000 or more for retirement, register by calling 314-947-2012, 314-947-2012. That's 314-947-2012.
I'm Dave Glover, and I see clearly now thanks to the doctors, Dr. Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, and Samuel Barry. You can too. Just go to youridoc.com.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Drowning in IRS debt? If you can't afford to pay your IRS debt due to economic hardship, you can now be free of IRS collection efforts by taking advantage of a special IRS tax hardship program. This program allows Americans who owe the IRS to resolve their delinquent tax debt once and for all. In some cases, maybe even reducing what you owe significantly. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Simply dial 800-485-7220. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back or have years of unfiled tax returns, help is standing by. Just call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-485-7220 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-485-7220 to see if you qualify. That's 800-485-7220.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to Big Wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Here's how to get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. Our US-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you, and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
The following heartwarming yet informative scene is brought to you by Trust and Will.
Son, your grandpa and I used to work on this car together, and when I'm gone, I want you to have it.
Wow. Thanks, Dad.
Doesn't count. What you need is a will. Luckily, Trust and Will makes it easy. Designed by attorneys, but customized by you, you can easily create a state-specific, legally valid document that actually counts. Now, let's let the engine do the talking, am I right? Start your will at trustandwill.com. Use offer code COUNT for 10% off and make it count. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. For details, see trustandwill.com.
Breaking news, entertaining conversation, and live sports. This is KMOX.
Predicate this time is I'm carrying heavier hearts right now like a power lift with Olympians too, carrying very
can't get it out of my head. I'm telling you, man, that one right there, that beat right there. Oh.
Okay, so Michael Kelly, Amy Mark scores. We've been talking about the halftime show, and actually, again, we had this. Chris Ranji, Matt Pajeski, our producer, and I were texting last night because it was partly. It's not that I don't like rap. Generally, I like rap that has a little bit more. Like you said, of a hook, maybe a beat,
something you can repeat.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Kanye West is a horrible, evil anti-Semite, like I said, but some of his music that we knew earlier, you remember it was catchy. Kendrick Lamar, a little bit more monotonous to me, but I'm also an untrained ear. So, you know, Sean Ono Lennon, John and Yoko's son. Okay. He's pretty active on Twitter. He's a pretty interesting follow on Twitter, actually. So this is Sean Ono Lennon. Here's what he said, and I think, Matt, you agreed as well. He said, I never thought I'd see an artist like Kendrick at the Super Bowl. It's cool to see. I don't think Kendrick's music was ever made with the Super Bowl in mind. It's not about that kind of thing. So I think to hear him for the first time in this context is probably not the most flattering introduction. But if you're a fan, then you know. This man is one of the greatest of all time. And if you know, you know. And I do.
Well said.
Yes, I feel like that is absolutely true. His music wasn't made for a Super Bowl stage.
Right.
And remember how I said, like, I felt like it was an inside thing? Like I didn't get it.
You knew it was quality. Whatever was happening was quality. To those who were appreciating it, you're just like, I don't understand what's
I felt left out.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Because I guess. And also, sometimes there are moments of change within a show where the stage changes, or the artist is lifted up, or they have new dancers, or there's a wardrobe change, whatever it may be. And I think for the most part, this was pretty much the same dancers, right? I will say I appreciated a halftime show where everybody had pants on. You don't always see that. You never see that. Everyone had pants on.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. And people were clothed.
They were clothed.
Yeah.
I appreciated that. So
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
Some of the ads, people weren't clothed.
I know.
Yeah.
There were a lot of ads that people aren't clothed.
But in the dance, I don't know. I tuned out after a while. I mean, when I say I tuned out, it's not like I switched channels. I just literally went and got something to eat and heard it in the background because it was, and I can't remember the last halftime show that I didn't sit through and watch it from start to finish.
Let's go to Judy in Ladue. Hey, Judy.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
You know what? I got to applaud you because my dad always said, look for something good and positive. And you're right. The fact that they all had pants on, that was good and positive.
I know. I was so happy. They had pants on. And so in some ways that highlights his lyrics and his performance even more.
Listen, that actually improves my view of last night. But yeah, I'm almost 81. And let me tell you, first of all, somebody in the crowd did know who he was. Nobody knew what the heck was going on. And it was a great time to go to the bathroom, clean up the kitchen, and do a lot of stuff because there was absolutely nothing. And it wasn't that I was cheering for the Chiefs and I was a little down. It just wasn't. It was only to one era.
Yeah,
and
it was to younger people. Yeah.
And
yeah, and that was, if my grandsons had been here, that'd have been really great. But somehow or another, there's a lot of eras that are there supporting football and you know, and this kind of environment. And I think they need to entertain us, some of us too. Maybe not the antique ones like me, but at least.
Thank you, Judy.
At least your era should be entertained. So anyway, that's my thought.
Thank you, Judy. We appreciate it.
And I think what it comes down to is that, to me, the Super Bowl halftime is like must-see TV. Like it's discussed leading up to the Super Bowl for months, even before we know who's going to be there. We know who's going to be at the Super Bowl, and it wasn't must-see TV for everybody. I think back to when Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre and Mary J. Blige did it, or you know, you had something that appealed to everybody, and you saw the young kids to the older folks all sitting there watching it together. At least in my party, most of the 40 to 55-year-olds that were sitting there were checked out.
Yeah, and I think that's what it is like, we get it. We're old. Throw the old folks a bone. But just because old folks watch the Super Bowl, and to your point, and I will say this, young kids, yes, they like Kendrick Lamar. Young kids know Snoop and 50 Cent. Sure. They do. They know those songs. So maybe you have a multi-era. Maybe that needs to be a focus no matter what genre you have. Maybe have multi-era Super Bowl halftime show.
You can't be too obscure. Like if they went and pulled some true country star out that I'd never heard of, that's not Garth Brooks or, you know, Chris Stapleton, I don't want to hear that either.
He's Michael Kelly. I'm Amy Mark Scores. Hey, joining us next is Jim Welby. He's the president of St. Dominic High School in O'Fallon. St. Dominic is launching a trades program for the 2025-26 school year. It's the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Here with Fairwinds River's Edge Senior Living in St. Charles. We have a helpful seminar coming up Friday, March 7th that just might be the help you didn't even know you needed. Learn about the current housing market and tips on how to downsize and move from a home you may have been in for 20 years. Or maybe it's been 50. Happy hour follows. Visit us online at fairwindsriversedge.com and let us know if you're able to join us. Thanks, and we hope to talk with you soon.
Being first in line can be very important to homeowners. First in line for the plumber, first in line for the HVAC guy, first in line for Banner Construction. It's Banner Construction's winter home event, and you can be first in line this spring and save before the annual price increases. Banner Construction is a James Hardy and Pella Winter replacement specialist, and now is the best time to schedule a free in-home consultation with no obligation. Call 314-569-1050 or see them online and have a banner day.
Since 1991, St. Louis has served as the gateway to the best men's basketball tournament, Arch Madness. Experience buzzer beaters, madness, and Missouri Valley Conference glory. And it begins here. The 2025 State Farm MVC Men's Basketball Tournament, presented by Credit Union One and Great Southern Bank, tips off March 6th through the 9th. Celebrate 35 years of Arch Madness. Get your tickets now at archmadness.com.
O'Reilly Veriscan is a free check engine light testing program that pulls from over 600 million vehicle scans confirmed by ASE certified technicians to provide a simple report and possible fixes. Available exclusively at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
At 10:30, we've got clouds. It is 30 degrees, and Ohio Governor Mike DeWine has nominated former Ohio State football coach Jim Tressel as the state's next lieutenant governor. This afternoon, cloudy with some sun, followed by clouds. High 39 for tonight, cloudy, low 31. A little snow at times late tonight into tomorrow. The high temperature tomorrow, 37. Right now, 30, feels like 22. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Ever feel like there aren't enough hours in the day? If you get busy or miss your favorite show, don't worry. With Rewind, available exclusively on the free Odyssey app, you can stream your favorite shows on demand. You know your day is better with us. Get the news that matters to you from the local voices you trust. No matter what you're up to, give it a try. To get started, download the free Odyssey app and search for your station. That's AUDACY.
Hey guys, Dave Glover here for Universal Windows Direct. Universal Windows Direct Love Your Windows Sales event is happening now. Universal Windows Direct has a deal you can't resist. Buy 2 windows, get 2 for free, and there's no limit. Need 4 windows, you pay for 2. You need 20, you pay for 10. That's not all. Universal Windows Direct is offering no interest financing for 3 years. That's 36 months of easy payments with 0 interest. Call 314-334-2522 or visit universalwindowsdirect.com this February. That's universalwindowsdirect.com. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
Get this, 42% of baby boomers don't even know how much money they have in their nest egg. If you're not sure where you stand in terms of getting ready for retirement, you should be listening to the All Financial Hour with Steve All.
Let's sit down and talk about your questions, because I think that's the most important thing that it is out there. It's what questions do you have?
Saturday mornings at 10 or Sunday evenings at 6, right here on KMOX.
There's no better time to give your body nutritional support with Neovitin than right now. Start the new year off right with Neovitin 50 Plus multivitamins. Neovitin 50 Plus multivitamins give you a nutritional base with B vitamins to support energy, vitamins A and C for immune support, and our physician-formulated proprietary 4-ingredient blend for daily support that you won't find in any other multivitamin. Find Neovitin at your local Schnucks, Deerbergs, and online at neovitin.com.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com. If it's happening in sports, Bernie Nicholas talks about it. Tuesday and Thursday on The Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
Hip, hip. Michael Kelly, Amy Mark Scores with you. Well, really interesting program will be launching at St. Dominic High School. The 1,100 student school will launch a building trades program at the start of the 2025-2026 school year. And to give us some more information on that trades program, what it looks like, what it means, is president of St. Dominic High School in O'Fallon, Missouri, Jim Welby. Jim, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for the opportunity, Amy.
So let's start with the trades program, what it will offer at St. Dominic.
Sure. So we're going to offer 4 different building trades. We surveyed our students to find out kind of what their interest levels would be. And so they came back and told us that the trades that they would love to study and learn more about would be carpentry, electrical, HVAC, and then plumbing and pipe fitting. And so those will be the 4 trades that we'll begin offering next fall at the start of the fall semester.
And with this program, is it available to the students all 4 years of high school? Do you have to be a junior or a senior?
Sure, that's a great question, Amy. So it has to be, we are at least initially opening the program only to our juniors and our seniors. We did a lot of research, spoke with the current trade schools that are in the area. And I think, generally speaking, we felt like the safest way to begin the program was to only offer it to juniors and seniors. There's just something about trusting a 14-year-old with a chop saw or a table saw that maybe makes me a little bit nervous, but even they echoed that just a maturity factor certainly is more applicable for the juniors and seniors. So at least to begin the program, we're going to only offer it for juniors and seniors.
How many students do you have there at St. Dominic, and what's the interest level and capacity for these particular programs?
Yeah, Michael, we have 1,130 students right now. We'll be about the same next year. We've offered our acceptances for next year's class already. So we'll stay in that same area. And we surveyed our students over the last 2 years. And each year we had an interest level come back of around 230 students who expressed an interest to study and take at least a class in one of these trades opportunities. So a little less than 1 in 5 of our students expressed an interest at least seeing it. And I think important to note in that is that some students will come into the program with the desire that that's what they really want to do for the rest of their life, and they'll get a chance to see what that looks like while they're in high school. But other students will take it simply as a practical art class because it's something that interests them. Even if they know that they're heading college bound, it's a chance for them to get a little bit of exposure that certainly will do them some good for the rest of their life.
Yeah, this is so cool that you're doing this and that these younger folks are getting exposed to a career. Mr. Welby, will they be earning any type of credit towards a trade school if they were to do this through those 2 years that they can then take with them to kind of accelerate themselves to potentially getting into one of these trades?
Sure. So we will not initially have any sort of certification program available. When we met with all of these 4 unions, as well as just contractors that are in our community that are in these 4 building trades. And all of them gave us the exact same opinion, and that is let the kids learn. If they like to work with their hands, let them see what the different trades are and get exposure to it. But none of them were really concerned that they would come out with any sort of certification or a pre-apprenticeship type of certification or heading to the trade schools. And we have quite a few students right now that attend trade schools even without this program being offered to date. So I think we feel good about kind of the philosophy behind it. And initially we were looking at that, but again, in meeting with those union leaders and then also the different contractors, they all said, let them just get exposed to it and figure out if this is what they really are interested in doing as a possible career.
And just from a parent standpoint, if parents are listening to this saying, okay, I would be open to my child having maybe one class, which is in the trades, but I don't want them to miss out on like 2 or 3 days of school because 2 or 3 days are being replaced with trades classes. Can you kind of tell me how it's laid out and how could a student miss some other core classes if they choose to take the trades classes?
Sure. So thanks for that, Amy. That's a great question, and it's actually already been asked by a number of our families when we made this announcement. So this, and I think what's very unique to St. Dominic High School is that this is just another line of our course offerings. So it's no different than our engineering curriculum or our biomedical sciences curriculum or our business curriculum. So it is a part of our everyday schedule. All of our students that come to St. Dominic are on a track, placed on a track where they will be able to attend a 4-year university should they choose to when they graduate. And so we maintain our college prep abilities with this program in place next year, but our students will take essentially a double class period, which is the equivalent of a year-long class, but they'll take it in a semester. So that we teach over the course of a 2-day stretch. We teach 4 a day. And so a student taking one of the building trades would take it actually for 2 periods, like period 1 and period 2. But they would do that for a semester, but earn a year's worth of credit in it because of the double curriculum. But all students will still be on a pathway towards a 4-year university if they come in and start to take these classes in the trades their junior and senior year.
Okay, got it. So I think this is the right term. So this is different than a technical high school where your trades training is replacing traditional high school. Like this is in addition to, so if you don't necessarily want to go immediately into the trades, you could go to a regular 4-year college.
Yep, you hit it, Amy. That's exactly right. So students are going to be able to take these courses on our campus. We purchased a warehouse just adjacent to our campus, so students will be able to walk there and take their classes, and it fits right into their schedule. So they're not going to be missing, quote, half a day of school every day, as many of the different trades and technical schools in the area. High school students, they're just going to be a part of our students here, taking all of their 8 classes, and just 2 of them are going to be in the trades, and they'll stay here on campus all day, every day, if you will, for their high school experience.
The campus at St. Dominic is just spectacular. I'm from your crosstown rival, Duchesne Pioneers. Go Pioneers there, Mr. Welby. But I don't want to leave the fact that that's a significant facility that you all have, an investment that's being made there. And the hands-on aspects of this, it sounds like it's going to be really world-class in that facility.
We're certainly building it out to be that way, Michael. And by the way, we love our friends over at Duchesne as well. So I'm glad that you're a part of our Catholic school system. But yeah, it really is. You know, we've made continued investments in this community in this campus as a part of our community, really for the last probably 2.5, 3 decades. And so this is just that we have 28,000 square foot warehouse, and the build out on that is beginning, so that we are ready to go for classes in the fall. But with everything we do, we want to make sure that we're meeting our students' needs, not just today, but also for the future. And there'll be no difference in terms of how we outfit this facility as well. You know, we really want to be on the front end and the cutting edge of that. And we do see growth in this program too. So, you know, starting right now with these 4 building trades, we certainly have the space and the capacity to increase and add programs over time. It's just initially we really want to get these 4 building trades rooted so that we can do them very well, and then continue to add and grow when the time comes.
Yeah, really cool that it's exposure to the trades, and as you mentioned, different than a technical high school. This is just incorporated into your core classes. You can take 1 class, you can take 2, and then you can go to Mizzou or wherever you want to go to SLU and go for your college afterwards. But let's say you love it and want to go into the trades. Does St. Dominic then have a pipeline or a connection where they could reach out to a technical college in the area?
Absolutely. So both local schools such as Rankin, and then also statewide schools like State Tech in Lynn, Missouri. We have a number of students that attend both currently. So we've had a great connection and great pipeline with them, and as well as kids that just want to come out and get into industry. What we've noticed over the last probably 5 or 6 years is a growing number of students that were going into the workforce right away because they didn't know what they wanted to study in college, and so they wanted to pursue this. And so we have students that are currently in the electrical apprenticeship program. We have students who are operators for some of our contractors that we work with here at St. Dominic. But many of our families in this community are historic families that have really helped build St. Dominic High School over the time, are from the construction industry. And so we have been highly engaged with them really over the last 2 years in planning this program. And we do believe that students who feel like they want to go to a technical college or they want to jump right into industry, we would be able to give them a great facility and a great opportunity to do so based on the connections that we have here with our current contractors. And I would also offer contractors that have been coming to us since this announcement's been made to say, hey, we want to help support this program, and how can we help you guys? And that's been tremendous opportunity for us as well that we're looking forward to utilizing.
And I do just want to add one more thing, which is something that your principal, Stacy Stewart, I believe said, which is that if anything, these classes spice up the daily learning of students who are constantly on screens. Like, it's such a digital world, and that they can actually go work with their hands, build, is something that is, believe it or not, pretty different for young kids these days.
Yeah, Amy, you're not kidding. And so many of us grew up and you know, I'm a little bit grayer than probably a lot of our staff here, but so many of us grew up with not having screens in front of us. And so But the students today that are coming into the high schools all have been on screens literally since they were sitting in strollers, looking at mom's phone and sitting in the back seat watching video screens in cars. That's just the reality of the kids today. And what a great opportunity for them to be able to go out daily and accomplish things with their hands, to see the fruits of their work. We're really excited, too, about the long-term possibilities that this could have in terms of being able to help with some of our own philanthropic outreach to local charities and things that might be able to be created and developed within this trades program that could then benefit those charities as well. So I think there's a lot of lessons that really can be taught to students by working with their hands and by getting exposure to this. And if it was me, I can tell you I would appreciate a good break in the day to be able to go and put something together or build something or wire something up. So I do think it's a great opportunity for our kids to learn in a way that they have not yet had that experience in learning previous to coming here.
Absolutely. Well, Jim Welby, president of St. Dominic High School, we really appreciate your time this morning.
Amy, you and Michael, thank you guys very much. We're grateful for the opportunity and continue to do all the great things you guys are doing at KMOX.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That is Jim Welby. He
So
is
polite.
the president of St. Dominic High School. He is. And Michael, with your obviously background in unions and the
Yeah.
trades, this is a big deal for the area
Right.
because Missouri is a big union state, but the trades
Well,
need people.
it's more the trades and construction, of course, the
Yeah.
unions. And the unions have done the same thing down at St. Mary's High School in the city, now St. Dominic. And I think a lot of people are starting to realize that these are very valid and good paying careers and, St. Dominic is, I happen to know a lot of the parishioners are the folks who participate out there. And there's a lot of folks whose parents come from those trades. And so I got to tell you, I'm encouraged to see working with our hands being revered and appreciated as opposed to the thought process we had when we were growing up, Amy, which was, no, it's all about going to college. Some of the most well-rounded people making a really quality living and growing some incredible families in my life are people who belong to the building and construction trades.
And we learned
It's incredible work.
It is. And we learned how the trades keep the country running, especially during COVID.
Yeah.
There are a lot of English majors that could sit around. And I love English, right? I get it. However, when you talk about keeping the country running, keeping the country moving, making sure houses are being built, being repaired, toilets being repaired. You can't survive without the trades.
And it's about exposure.
Mhm.
We were talking about Kendrick Lamar, and there's something that you and I haven't been exposed to. The electrical work is all about computer systems and stuff that's going on. There's so much that these young people, just by getting to be able to put their hands on it and touch it and see it, may inspire them, and who knows what way. So I think it's awesome. Well done, St. Dominic. I hope that other schools will follow suit and that there's capacity for these types of programs to grow, because this is a skill that people walk out of and have for the rest of their lives that they can make money with.
He's Michael Kelly. I'm Amy Mark. Scores Did You See This? Is next on the Chris and Amy Show.
For all station contest rules, go to KMOX.com/rules.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the place for skilled skydiving instructors, accomplished airbrush artists, and proficient pediatricians. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter to hire, you're missing out. ZipRecruiter is the place that's so confident it can make your hiring easier that it lets you try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. So if you want the right candidates for all your roles, ZipRecruiter is the place to go. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
The 25th annual Heat Up St. Louis Rise and Shine benefit of participating Hardee's takes place Friday, February 14th. Join KMOX as we rise and shine to keep neighbors in Missouri and Illinois warm this winter. Get a Hardee's sausage biscuit or egg biscuit for $1 and consider leaving some extra dough with our volunteers. Have a heart. Heat a home. The 25th annual Heat Up St. Louis Rise and Shine benefit. Friday, February 14th at participating Hardee's.
Paid for by government. Throughout the history of America's Silver Eagle coin series, there's never been a Mint State coin struck with a special Privy Mark. Until now. That's right. The world's most popular silver bullion coin has just been struck with a special star Privy Mark. Silver Eagles are the best-selling silver coin since first being introduced by the U.S. Mint in 1986. This is an amazing and historic event, but you must hurry. A strict limited edition mintage has been set, and once they are gone, they are gone. These first ever Silver Eagles are brand new legal tender coins, minted in 99.9% pure silver by the Philadelphia Mint. For a limited time radio offer, save $5 off every coin. Just call 1-800-473-3993 to secure the first ever star Privy Marked Mint State Silver Eagle coin. Plus receive free shipping, but you must call now. Call 1-800-473-3993 now to secure this first ever Silver Eagle. That's 1-800-473-3993.
Tiger fans, join 9th-ranked Mizzou Gymnastics as they take the floor right here in St. Louis at Family Arena on Saturday, February 14th at 6:30 p.m. You won't want to miss this opportunity to see 4 top-ranked programs compete head-to-head in the Zoo to the Lou quad meet. Head to mutigers.com/tickets to purchase your tickets today. MIZ.
Farming's hard. To feed the world, farmers have to work the land, brave the elements, and fight the battle against weeds. Weeds reduce crop yields, so prices go up and everybody gets less to eat. But 50 years ago, farmers got a new tool to fight weeds, glyphosate. It kills weeds while protecting the harvest. Time and again, it has been approved by the EPA and by leading regulatory bodies around the world. It helps enable practices that reduce erosion and keep soil healthy, which is good for the earth. Farming's hard, but it's a little easier with glyphosate. Learn more at go.bayer.com/glyphosate, paid for by Bayer.
We can get more sleep, we can get more sun, and we can get more exercise. But the one thing that we can't get more of is time. It's time to eliminate the one phrase that could be holding you back from reaching your retirement goals. I'll take care of it tomorrow. It's time to pick up the phone and make the call to Gary Goldberg and the team at Financial and Tax Strategies. 618-361-4232 or online at checkwithgary.com.
Investment advisory services offered through Centaurus Financial Inc., an SEC registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Gary Goldberg, NPN number 918615.
What was my first impression when I walked in? Wow.
It makes me feel like I matter. They've just done everything in their power to make me feel welcome and cared for.
I feel like I can go forward because now I'm in good health.
She wasn't looking at her watch. She wasn't rushing things. She took the time to understand what I was going through.
Ready to upgrade your primary care in St. Louis? Visit r12health.com. or call 314-668-2173 to join now during Medicare open enrollment.
I'm Roger Brand, and this is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Now, did you see this? With Chris and Amy.
All Super Bowl all day, baby. Hey, we've got a few texts in. You can keep texting in 314-436-7900. We did get one from a 618 that says, I'm 22 and I dozed off for a bit during the halftime show. But we also don't know if that guy or that lady, maybe they were drinking, maybe they were puffing the Magic Dragon. You don't know why people are dozing.
Never thought about it
You never know why people are dozing.
You always think the worst of people.
Absolutely. Now, Matt Pajeski brought up, you're a fan of Kendrick Lamar, correct?
I do. I like
it. And you were saying he's not showy in the sense of a big production. It's his lyrics. Right. He has dense, like you said, racially charged, heavily topics. And here's a texter that said, you both, meaning Michael Kelly and I, not Matt Pajeski, 314 says, you both have missed a big part of the halftime show. There was a big symbolic narrative about racial relations in America. It was fascinating. There have been a lot of viral videos today discussing the symbolism. I think it will be remembered forever. So for some people, obviously, like I said, I think it's probably if you were familiar with Kendrick Lamar and really liked his music, you got it.
So, but I also think that there's probably some education now going on based on some of the symbolism that we saw the other day. And we have not done our homework in the sense that we watched it, gave you our guttural reaction. Maybe I'll learn something later that will make me realize that it was some really insightful thing that went down. But my ignorance right now was just based on what I witnessed. Now, did you see this, Amy?
Yes.
The Super Bowl consumed so much of yesterday that my favorite television show, Hancock and Kelly, was canceled on Channel 2.
Oh, did I see it? Here's what I did.
What?
Sunday morning in my apartment.
Mm-hmm.
I brew a pot of coffee.
Hey, now.
Smells good.
Yeah,
it's percolating. I get a blanket. I get cozy on my couch.
Right.
I turn on the TV. I want to watch my best buddies, Hancock and Kelly.
Yeah.
They're not on.
We were not there because they started the
Unbelievable.
pregame show yesterday at 8 a.m. Think about that. The game was not until 5:30. They had pregame. Now, I had mine on in the background as the day went on yesterday. Yeah. And we are becoming the dumbest society ever. Now I'm watching Bill Belichick go to a high school in New Orleans for some
to find another girlfriend?
Yeah. No, for some reality TV like engagement scene. And then Howie Long on the streets of, Philadelphia talking about it's like we turned everything into this show. Like I wanted to hear sports guys talk sports.
Yeah.
Not go around and do skits and stuff for 7 hours.
That's a lot. Game. Well, maybe they assumed everyone would be too wasted to care because Americans drink an estimated 325 million gallons of beer on Super Bowl Sunday, which is the equivalent of 50 million cases.
Wow.
Of beer.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
So maybe they're thinking, listen, we can do skits, we can do whatever we want. But like to your point, at 8 a.m., you're probably not plastered yet.
Did you notice that I thought there were very minimal beer and alcohol commercials yesterday? There were a couple of Bud Light and a couple of other commercials. We'll have to talk about commercials later.
Yeah.
But I didn't see much alcohol. And if thinking back, and here we are living in the past Super Bowls, Bud Bowls and the Budweiser commercials were like the whole commercial game.
Yeah. I know Anheuser-Busch spent more than any other single company. I did think they did, 6 ads, 5, 6, 7 ads at $8 million a pop. That's pretty expensive. But yeah, it's interesting to see the different themes each year for the Super Bowl ads, which we will talk about in the next hour. But joining us next, Chris Cillizza, political commentator and author of the daily newsletter, So What?, joins the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
It's Tom Ackerman. Need to get my eyes checked once a year from Ophthalmology Associates. It's an annual eye health examination that I absolutely need if I want to see clearly, and I want to be able to tell you what I see in everything that I do on the radio and in life. The doctors of Ophthalmology Associates will help me with that. 314-966-5000 is the number to call for an appointment. 314-966-5000, Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, Andrew Royer, and Samuel Berry. He is a cornea surgeon. He has the knowledge and techniques for advanced eye care and treatment in the field, just like the other doctors. The doctors, they call them that because they have over 250 doctors as patients. That is more than any other practice. Ophthalmology Associates, 314-966-5000. Ophthalmology Associates, yourEyeDoc.com.
Happy birthday to us. 2 surprises for you. 2 surprises from NordVPN. 2 surprises for you.
Celebrate twice as much with NordVPN. We have a special birthday deal. Get 72% off and a coupon for up to 1 year free. NordVPN is rated as excellent on PC Mag. Visit NordVPN.com and discover one of the most advanced VPNs in the world. What are the benefits? Secure up to 10 devices with a single account. Receive alerts if your email address leaks to the dark web. Reduce the risk of phishing, scams, and malware with NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro tool.
Encrypt your online traffic and browse with more peace of mind. Get the special birthday deal at NordVPN.com. Additional terms apply. NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR St. Louis.
The legendary voice of St. Louis, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Hey, this is Charlie Brennan. If you have exposed brick or stone in your garage, basement, or fireplace, this would be a great time to call Morelli Tuck Pointing. The Morelli team can work 12 months a year on the inside of your home. Tuck pointing is the removal and replacement of old and missing mortar on a wall or chimney. When you tuck point your home, you strengthen your structure, you prevent water damage, and you add value to your property. The Morelli team is expert at matching the color of the new mortar to the color of the old mortar. And I know because the Morellis have tuck pointed patios, walls, and chimneys at 2 of our homes here in St. Louis. Morelli is a recipient of the Better Business Bureau Torch Award and the Angie's List Super Service Award every year since 2005. You can also research their reviews on the Google, Angie's List, and Better Business Bureau websites. Morelli Tuck Pointing at 314-645-1387 or MorelliTuckPointing.com.
It is 11 o'clock in mid-America. We've got 33 degrees downtown at the Arch. President Trump detailing more on his plan for a U.S. takeover of Gaza.
I would own this. Think of it as a real estate development for the future.
President Trump told Fox News rebuilding Gaza would take years. When asked if the Palestinians would have the right to return to the territory if they wanted to, he said,
no, they wouldn't, because they're going to have much better housing, much better. In other words, I'm talking about building a permanent place for them.
That contradicts other officials in his administration who have sought to argue Trump was only calling for the temporary relocation of its population. Stacey Lynn, CBS News, the White House.
More tariffs are coming.
President Trump says he will announce new tariffs later today. These tariffs involve steel and aluminum.
Any steel coming into the United States is going to have a 25% tariff.
What about aluminum, sir?
Aluminum too.
10%?
No, 25%.
25 for aluminum.
25 for both.
The tariffs include Canada and Mexico. On Air Force One, on his way to the Super Bowl, the president also said he would announce reciprocal tariffs probably tomorrow or Wednesday, meaning the U.S. would impose import duties on products in cases where another country has levied duties on U.S. goods.
If they are charging us 130% and we're charging them nothing, it's not going to stay that way.
The president previously threatened 25% import taxes on all goods from Canada and Mexico, but last week he paused them for 30 days. At the same time, he proceeded to add 10% duties on imports from China. Ed Donahue, Washington.
A study shows there may be a better way to deal with some peanut allergies.
Children with a high threshold peanut allergy who ate gradually larger doses of peanut butter became much less sensitized compared to those who avoided peanuts, according to the study from New York's Mount Sinai. The researchers say increasing doses of store-bought peanut butter is a safe and inexpensive way to handle the allergy. A high threshold peanut allergy means a child can tolerate at least half a peanut. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs fall short of Super Bowl history.
Three-time champion Patrick Mahomes has made a name for himself playing his best football on the biggest stage. On Sunday night in New Orleans, Mahomes struggled and threw a pair of interceptions that helped gift the Eagles a 40-22 Super Bowl 59 victory over his Chiefs.
It's hard to come back from that in the Super Bowl, and so just didn't play to my standard, and I have to be better next time.
Kansas City trailed 24-0 at halftime before scrapping together some late offense, but Coach Andy Reid's team fell well short of the first three-peat in Super Bowl history.
Today was a rough day. We didn't really play well in any of the phases. Didn't coach good enough. They did a nice job.
I'm Gethin Coolbaugh.
The KMOX Business Desk talking interest rates on Capitol Hill.
Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell will spend 2 days on Capitol Hill discussing the economy with congressional committees. He'll likely talk about the persistent inflation and a still strong job market being reasons to hold off on further interest rate cuts. Kimberly Adams, Bloomberg Radio.
The Dow from Stifel up 70 points to 44,373.
Emergency vehicles on 270 going north at 44 on the right shoulder. An incident on 70 west at Adelaide on the right shoulder. A stall 55 going south before Lindbergh. And also, if you're coming up 44 at Lafayette, construction has a backup there.
This afternoon will be quite chilly with some sun followed by clouds, high 39, then cloudy tonight, low 31. We'll see a little snow late tonight into tomorrow, especially south of the city, where there can be a coating of an inch. Watch for slick spots, otherwise cloudy tomorrow, high 37. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Sponsored by 99 years. That's how long Overhead Door Company of St. Louis has been repairing and replacing garage doors for savvy homeowners. For same-day garage door repair 24/7, call Overhead Door Company of St. Louis or schedule online, overheaddoorstlewis.com. That's overheaddoorstlewis.com. We've got some clouds. It's 32 in St. Peter's and Florissant, 33, but the feels like it's 25 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Use both your KMOX presets when you're in the car. 98.7 FM near the city and 1120 AM further out. 2 buttons for KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Well, it's a Super Bowl Monday. We all know what we were focused on yesterday, and actually, President Trump was at the Super Bowl. I did not realize until last week that he is the first sitting president to go to a Super Bowl. I guess because they always have that presidential interview, which Joe Biden did not do last year, but they usually do it. I don't know why I assumed a president had been to the Super Bowl before. But no, this was the first time. So joining us now, while we're on the topic of presidents and politics in Washington, D.C., is Chris Cillizza, political commentator and author of the daily newsletter So What, who joins us on a Monday, as we established last week. He will always do, I think, as long as he agrees to it. Chris, how are you?
Hello. I am good.
Are you having a sluggish post Super Bowl Monday, or are you doing okay?
No, man, I'm up and grinding because the game was so uninteresting that I was in bed earlier than usual, to be totally honest. Now that said, I did coach a rec basketball game yesterday for my 12-year-old, so I put a lot into that. So I was pretty tuckered out by about 10:30 p.m.
I can imagine. Well, let's start with this new CBS News poll that came out that showed some pretty positive numbers for President Trump's overall job rating, the way they view him as doing what he promised to do. So the overall job rating, 53% approve, 47% disapprove. And I think that 53% approval rating, is that a record high for him?
It is in that poll. I mean, this is the thing that you have to remember when it comes to Donald Trump. So Gallup did a poll every month of Donald Trump's presidency, and not one time was his approval rating 50% or higher in his first term. So that, by the way, that had never happened before. So this is not someone who has ever enjoyed majority support in the country in terms of how people think he's doing his job. So 53% is like 70% for Donald Trump. I mean, I do think he benefits a little bit from the context, right? He's taking over from Joe Biden, who many people thought was sort of not super energetic, not very active, kind of weak. I mean, that's why Joe Biden ultimately got out of the race and why I think Democrats ultimately lost the race to Donald Trump. So I think Trump, just look at what he did on Sunday. He plays golf in the morning with Tiger Woods. On the way to the Super Bowl, he signs the Gulf of America executive order. At the Super Bowl, he's there, he's saluting during the national anthem. After the Super Bowl, he says, we're going to get rid of the penny, which, by the way, is probably the most popular thing he's ever proposed. So he's just the guy. Oh, and I forgot to mention, he, unlike Biden, as you mentioned, does the traditional sit down Super Bowl interview. So he's kind of everywhere you look. I mean, that's on purpose, but I think that contrast with Biden, where you were kind of like, we haven't seen him in a week, I think that is driving at least some of his positive numbers.
So one of the people that was positive that he brought along with him was Elon Musk, the world's richest man. He had popularity as well. People were happy that he was turning over power and stuff to Elon Musk. Is Elon Musk retaining that same level of popularity with the president?
No. So I would say Elon's not wearing as well as Donald Trump. I think people, look, generally speaking, people like the idea of like a guy who's been very successful in the business world kind of coming to the world of politics and bringing what he's learned. But I think Elon's kind of approach to all of this, which is like take a meat cleaver to every, or at least a number of federal agencies, I think doesn't sit all that well with people. So I mean, look, I've predicted this for a long time, and I'm far from the only one. I just do not see the Trump-Musk bromance lasting, by next Super Bowl. My guess is this thing is kaput. And part of that will be because if Elon Musk gets less popular, Donald Trump does not like to surround himself with things that are not popular. It's not who he is. It's not what he does. So I just think that relationship is doomed. They're too alike. I think Donald Trump's okay with it right now. But every time you see a headline that says President Musk, I guarantee you it bothers Donald Trump.
Were there any specific reforms or actions that the president is doing that could be a credit to his popularity? Like, do people like what he's up to with USAID?
I don't. So I would say in general, if you ask the average person on the street, what is USAID and what it does, no one knows. I mean, if 1 out of 100 people knew, I'd be surprised. So I think as long as it's framed as we've got this big agency that's giving away lots of money to foreign countries, and they're supporting some woke policies, I think that would be popular. The thing he's doing that's the most popular is the focus on immigration and sort of hardline tactics on immigration. Look, that is one of the big reasons why he was elected, was people said, like, the system is broken and we need tough people who are willing to do hard impolitic things to fix it. So that's where he's in his best shape. But I'll point out that CBS YouGov poll that you guys cited at the top, 70% of people said that Donald Trump was tough, and that they like that. And I think that that's a very important part of his appeal. Like, you may not agree with everything he does, but people kind of like this idea of a muscular America and a muscular American foreign policy. And I think at least in the near term, and who knows about medium term and long term, but in the near term, that is wearing well for him.
Yes. Just to follow up on that point, according to the CBS poll as well, that 59% of people approve of Trump's program to deport immigrants illegally in the U.S., and 64% approve of sending U.S. troops to the U.S.-Mexico border. So he really does have the approval of the American people when it comes to his immigration policies. Quick note before we get to the penny, because I want to ask you about the penny.
Yeah, I have a lot of penny research. Do you have an hour? No, go ahead.
Yes, we've got 4 hours. Right before we get to the penny, just going back to what you said about the executive order on the Gulf of America, what does that actually mean? Or will our Google Maps change?
I don't think so. Look, I don't know is the short answer.
Yeah.
I was not a cartography major in college, and I don't know, how these big companies, Apple Maps, Google Maps, are going to react. I mean, this is what I would say. There are mountains and there are molehills when it comes to Donald Trump. I think Democrats make a mistake when they try to turn everything into a mountain. This strikes me as a molehill. Yes, it is a shiny object, but no, it doesn't. The water is not going to change to a different color. It's not suddenly going to get 20 degrees warmer. It's still the same body of water, right? It's like when we started calling French fries freedom fries. You know what I mean? Don't get distracted. He is going to do enough things that I think are right on the line of legal that it's worth focusing on things like birthright citizenship and, some of the stuff he's doing with USAID and the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Those are things that I think are worth really digging into. That, I leave it up to the map makers, but even if they do change it, I don't really care.
So what about the penny? Do you care about the penny?
Oh my God. So this is fascinating. So, I mentioned this at the top, but I will say this. I'm going to make a video on this for my YouTube channel because I'm super interested in it. And I have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 9 Post-it notes on my desk about the history of the penny. I am not going to go through them right now. But what I will say is getting rid of the penny since 1976 has been something that the government has been trying to do. Now, again, it's not clear to me that the president has control of this. The Congress started the U.S. Mint in 1792. Most policies that govern the mint and what it does are decided by Congress. Past efforts, and this has happened in 1989, 1990, 2015, 2023. There have been multiple attempts to get rid of the penny, have all gone through Congress. So we'll see if him ordering the mint to not make any more actually has an effect. I will tell you this, though, here in the unintended consequences department, I'll go out on this point. The penny costs roughly 3 cents to make now. For the last 19 years, it's cost more to make than it's worth. You know what costs 13 cents to make? The nickel. It's almost 3 times more expensive than the face value of it. So if we get rid of pennies, they'll come for the nickel next, and that will be, I think, a potential problem, because that is something that is way more expensive. Like, you're trying to get rid of coins no one uses. The penny is an easy target, but it's the nickel where you really save your money.
Well,
okay,
yeah.
That's my penny rant.
No, that's a good one, because I think my first question is, if you start rounding up, doesn't this hurt low-income consumers?
Yes, and that's, I think that's been, in all seriousness, that's been the argument against it for a very long time, is, this rounding up. Sure, it doesn't matter if, you Apple Pay for everything and we're, this cashless society, but lower income people are not in a cashless society. And that kind of, literally pennies do add up. The only thing I will say is, obviously I've gone too deep into the penny research, but do you know that there are 724 pennies for every man, woman, and child in the United States? So you could give 724 pennies to every man, woman, and child in the U.S. That's how many are in circulation. 240 billion.
That's a lot of pennies.
Billion.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you see people tossing away pennies, especially younger generations, I feel like, have no regard whatsoever for change, even up to quarters, which I know we're not going to get rid of quarters, but younger people just don't seem to care about change.
No, I mean, where was I? I was somewhere recently, and an older gentleman, like in his 70s, he was trying to pay cash. Oh, I was at a hotel. I was at a Starbucks at a hotel in Texas. He was trying to pay cash for his drink, and they were like, we're cashless. And so increasingly, I think we're going to move to that. And I think that's where you get people saying, like, why do we have this thing that is worth a cent, that costs 3 cents, that very few people use? And I'll note, by the way, there's not that much polling on it, but it's very bipartisan. 58% of people overall want to get rid of the penny. That's 59% of Democrats, 60% of independents, and 57% of Republicans. Like I said, it's probably the most popular, most bipartisan thing Donald Trump will propose in his entire 4 years in office.
Man. So your video on the penny should be up shortly?
It will be up shortly, and on my YouTube channel, which is just youtube.com/Chris Cillizza, Cillizza. And I have a question. Can I also be named Chief Currency Correspondent for KMOX?
100%. All right, I'm going to write this down right now. Our producer's taking a note. Chief
That
Currency.
will require a significant raise.
Okay, we will double what you're getting now.
The penny for his thoughts.
Well played.
Chris, you're the best. People, like you said, can catch your work on your YouTube channel. You are also the author of the daily newsletter, So What? With Chris Cillizza. Chris, we appreciate it, and we look forward to talking to you, talking more currency next Monday.
Take care.
Thank you. That is Chris Cillizza. Again, he has a YouTube channel and then also the daily newsletter, So What? All right. We got to get to some Super Bowl commercials because
it cost some pennies.
You talk about some pennies. They dropped a lot of pennies on those. Some commercials were more boobalicious than others.
Hey,
I guess
now.
we could say.
I like that.
It's
all the commercials.
The awkwardness of watching certain commercials with your family members.
Right?
He's Michael Kelly. I'm Amy Marks. It's the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-day kitchen and bath.
Maureen talks about her experience using 3-day kitchen and bath.
I
I had for years been dreaming how I wanted my kitchen down to every detail. When 3-Day Kitchen and Bath came, they were thrilled to death that I knew exactly what I wanted. They came back with a drawing, and it was perfect. It was exactly what I wanted. They came in, they did their thing, and it turned out as perfect as I imagined it. The quality of it is beautiful. It's amazing. It is beautiful. They were efficient. They were trustworthy. The recommendations were unquestionable, and they were going to do exactly what I wanted. I had a lovely experience.
Start your remodel today by visiting 3daykitchen.com.
At 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Hey, nice job, Pete. I like those clean lines. Fellas, do we have anyone that can get to Greenport today?
At Corey's Landscaping, the staffing plan is in the weeds.
Anthony, we need that leaf blower over here. 3 more new customer requests just came in. Who wants to work some overtime?
He needs to dig up quality landscapers and fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Drowning in IRS debt? If you can't afford to pay your IRS debt due to economic hardship, you can now be free of IRS collection efforts by taking advantage of a special IRS tax hardship program. This program allows Americans who owe the IRS to resolve their delinquent tax debt once and for all. In some cases, maybe even reducing what you owe significantly. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Simply dial 800-485-7220. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back or have years of unfiled tax returns, help is standing by. Just call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-485-7220 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-485-7220 to see if you qualify. That's 800-485-7220.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at Hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. That's Hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Special announcement. Together Credit Union is now accepting applications for its Together Foundation Community Scholarship Program. This year, Together Credit Union will award 5 $1,500 scholarships to eligible students who live and work in St. Louis City, St. Louis County, St. Charles County, Jefferson County, Madison County, or St. Clair County. Applications for the Together Foundation Community Scholarship are accepted until Monday, March 31st. Learn more at togethercu.org. Together Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
From the arch to the airwaves, KMOX is St. Louis.
Well, in one of the more disturbing Super Bowl ads of the evening was the commercial with Seal as a seal. So like just his face was on the body of a seal. And it just kind of threw you off when you looked at it. Right. And I do feel like every Super Bowl has at least one disturbing image
Right.
or bizarre image in an advertisement. So
It was there was some bizarre images and some good ones out there. Listen, the Seal thing. Talk about a guy who's taken one song. I mean, I don't know any other Seal songs. Maybe one or two songs, and 20 years after that song is out,
right?
He's still relevant enough to be in some obscure commercial. Which, by the way, was for what? Does anybody remember?
Mountain Dew.
Was it?
Oh, the tropical Mountain Dew,
something like
right?
that.
Like green.
It's
or
a
not green,
lime
but
Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
There's just something about the colors of the Mountain Dew colors that it's
Mhm.
like, is that natural to be putting in your body?
No,
No.
absolutely not.
Purple and
This is like
green.
one of the few things where, and I say very few, where RFK Jr. is right.
Right.
These dyes, terrible. Now, I wouldn't go putting dead bears in Central Park or putting whale heads in my car. However, the dyes are bad.
Well, you can make a good point and still be a nut job. And
100%
I think
true.
he's figured that out.
100% true. I want to get to more ads. Like we said, we still want to hear
Oh.
from you. Leave us a voice message. We did get this text regarding the halftime show from a 636. This was the Kendrick Lamar halftime show. This was a classic move by the NFL, one of the best marketing organizations in the world. Lamar was there to reach an audience that helped gain viewership in a new market.
Young people are already watching football. It's like the only sport that's growing an audience.
It is always growing.
I
Like
mean,
maybe baseball needs a younger audience.
Okay, well, the NFL's geniuses. I agree.
I mean, they're not hurting.
So, what was your favorite commercial?
Okay, this commercial, I actually laughed out loud, which I don't normally do, and it was funnier for some reason than it should have been, and that was the Post Malone.
Peyton Manning.
Shane Gillis, thank you.
Gillis.
Post Malone, Shane Gillis cul-de-sac beer
Uh-huh.
commercial. I don't know why it was so funny, but it was. And like they used the leaf blowers and they were
Right.
shooting beer cans as invitations for people to come to this cul-de-sac party. And then they're like, your lawnmower is a smoker?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why it was just really funny. And I love neighborhood parties. I'm a sucker for
Well-
a good cul-de-sac.
And that's a good commercial because you know what the product was. Bud Light.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, and also I will say, someone noted, some said, I wonder if Bud Light decided that the antidote to the Dylan Mulvaney scandal, remember that, was Shane Gillis? Because they kind of came back strong with a Bud Light commercial just because the Dylan Mulvaney thing turned out to be a whole
Yeah.
scandal. But I thought the Shane Gillis commercial was funny.
Could be that we have the attention spans of a mosquito in this country
Yeah,
too. That
yeah.
just wait, it'll go away. I liked the Eugene Levy eyebrows flying away like a butterfly. Now, I don't know what it was for.
Okay, weren't there two? So the Pringles ad was the mustache flying away. I
Uh-huh.
think the eyebrows was that Chat GPT, because someone said your Chat GPT, you were the greatest AI company. Was it?
This is Little Caesars.
Little
Caesars?
Oh, then maybe
Pizza,
Chat
pizza.
GPT had one. And I missed the Chat GPT one. But the
Pringles one was good.
But it's the same idea as
Yeah.
the eyebrows, isn't
All
it?
right. Now, my favorite was, did you guys see the Harrison Ford Jeep ad?
No, how did
Where
I miss that?
He kind of talked to, first of all, what a handsome man. Harrison Ford. What is he, 80 years old?
Mm-hmm. I know,
He
he's a
looked like he
good-looking
was
guy.
in his 50s or
Yeah.
something. Anyway, he was talking about, in America, we get to do what we want. And that's what freedom's all about. And he's making the case like, hey, you want a car that, makes a lot of noise, or you want an electric car? What do you care? As long as you're driving a Jeep. And I don't know. I really liked it. It kind of got me going.
We have a texter from 972 said he LOL'd at the alien Dorito commercial. My brother
Yes.
actually laughed
I
at
thought that
that.
was hilarious.
It breaks down the alien ship like he's pulling on the Dorito.
Right.
And at the end he says, what was that? That was Doritos, or was that Doritos? And yeah, that one was really funny. That one was funnier than it should have been, because they were trying to grab the Doritos
He's
bag and
getting
it,
thrown across the room while
Yeah.
he's hanging onto the Dorito bag.
and it broke the Dorito bag. That was a good one. Anybody remember what the Booby commercial was about?
I did.
Yeah.
You did
Yeah,
catch
was
it?
for breast cancer.
It was.
It was a uncomfortably enjoyable ad.
It was a lot of boobies. I gotta say, if you were there with family or kids or teenagers, it was just a lot of boobies. Anyway,
Boobs are the best.
Let's talk to. No, you can't, Kevin, not Kevin. Michael.
No, I meant.
We're talking to Kevin.
No, I meant like that was a good commercial
was
for
effective.
what
your
they were
attention.
trying to
Yeah.
say.
We're gonna
You,
we're
you
gonna
get
chat.
what I was saying. I didn't mean it the way that it came out.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Kevin Ryan's sports anchor for Fox 2 and KPLR 11 joins us next.
Attention homeowners. Selling your St. Louis home is a big deal. And look, I understand selecting the right agent can be a daunting task, but it is crucial. There are agents out there who will tell you an unrealistic sales price just to get your business. And that's why I recommend to my friends, trusted agent Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria understands that you need assurances when selling your home, not just empty promises. That's why Gloria Liu will guarantee upfront and in writing that she'll sell your home at your agreed upon price, or Gloria will buy it. You might ask, how can she make such a guarantee? It's easy. Gloria Liu knows how to market and properly price your home. Plus, she has a database of thousands of exclusive buyers, many of whom are looking for a home just like yours. So take it from me, Debbie Monterey, and call Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Being first in line can be very important to homeowners. First in line for the plumber, first in line for the HVAC guy, first in line for Banner Construction. It's Banner Construction's winter home event, and you can be first in line this spring and save before the annual price increases. Banner Construction is a James Hardy and Pella Winter replacement specialist, and now is the best time to schedule a free in-home consultation with no obligation. Call 314-569-1050 or see them online and have a banner day.
At 11:30, it's 34 degrees downtown at the Arch. Hamas released 3 Israeli hostages over the weekend in exchange for Palestinian prisoners as part of the Gaza ceasefire. The thin and frail state of the hostages shocked many. CBS's Robert Berger is in Jerusalem.
It's also putting a lot of pressure on the Israeli government. The families today were in the Knesset saying, Israel's parliament saying, look, there's not a lot of time for the remaining hostages, and they want Netanyahu to make a deal to get them out now.
Incident on 70 going west at Adelaide. That's got the right shoulder closed. A disabled vehicle, 6440, going westbound at Spirit of St. Louis Boulevard. That's also got the right shoulder closed. Forecast is sponsored by Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. Sun will be followed by clouds today, high 39, cloudy overnight, low 31, and a bit of snow overnight tonight into tomorrow, especially south of the city. Otherwise, tomorrow's high 37. Right now it's 34, but the feels like is 26 downtown. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. We are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and products liability. SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of lawyers and important decisions should not be based solely on advertising.
It's Tom Ackerman for Ophthalmology Associates, the doctor's doctors, 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
Your home of the Cardinals.
Arenado swings and hits it deep to left field. That ball is out of here.
The Billikens.
Jumper. Yes! Billikens win!
The Chiefs. Touchdown, Kansas City. We are America's sports voice, KMOX.
Michael Kelly, Amy Mark scores. Chris Ranji is out. I think he is out climbing a greased lamp post in Philadelphia. Maybe. Who knows? Well, also, speaking of being out, KMOX sports fella Matt Pauley is in the sky on his way to Jupiter, Florida,
South Florida,
to report from spring training. So coming in clutch for us is Kevin Ryans, sports anchor for Fox 2 and KPLR 11. Kevin, thanks for joining us on a Super Bowl Monday.
Amy, Michael, thank you guys for having me. This is such a great opportunity. I love talking sports, so I appreciate the chance to be able to come on and chat with you guys.
Well, I know we've got a lot to get to as far as baseball goes because pitchers and catchers report tomorrow, but I do want to get your thoughts on the game yesterday because, man, the Chiefs, we were talking about this earlier, every game they played this year was close. So it was kind of like we were all relying on Chiefs magic, not necessarily on just dominant performances.
Yeah, speaking of dominant performances, the Eagles, man, what an incredible performance by that defense yesterday. I had rarely seen Patrick Mahomes that disheveled, that so out of sorts, for lack of a better term. And maybe the game against Tampa Bay a few years back when they lost in the Super Bowl, maybe the second half against Cincinnati in the 2021 AFC Championship. Those are the only two times where I had seen Mahomes kind of as flustered as he was yesterday. And wow, did the Eagles put on a show yesterday over in New Orleans, a dominant performance, one of the best I've ever seen from a defense in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and it also didn't translate. While Mahomes had trouble in the pocket, his receivers had a hard time grabbing the ball, even if it was in their hands.
Yeah, a lot of it was because of that, how much the offensive line was pressured. I mean, he had the one interception that was thrown that the offensive lineman ran into him because the defensive lineman was able to get up there and pressure on the offensive line. So it was really just one of those performances where you want to forget if you're Patrick Mahomes, because I think he rushed it a little bit knowing that he had to be able to fire off the football because he was being pressured by the defense so much.
One more football question before we do move over to baseball, and that is, do you think last night's game, and specifically Mahomes' performance, heavily influences the Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, greatest quarterback of all time conversation? Meaning, does this hurt his legacy a little bit?
I think Patrick Mahomes, I'm not the oldest person, I'm at the right old age of 30 years old. But in watching football for most of my life, I haven't seen anyone as talented as Patrick Mahomes, who has come up so clutch as he has in big games and performed so well in big games. You're probably not going to get be the winner that Tom Brady was. Tom Brady just exemplified what it took to prepare and to be able to come through in the big moments. Super Bowls, he never really got blown out like this in a Super Bowl. He was always there for the task and won as much as anybody in NFL history. He may never get that, but in terms of body of work, Patrick Mahomes is still 29 years old, has so much more to offer. At the end of the day, he might go down as the most talented ever. He may not go down as the greatest winner ever, and I think that's okay.
Well, it ended last night. That's it till next year. We'll see what happens with the Chiefs and NFL football, but on to Cardinal baseball. Can you believe pitchers and catchers report tomorrow? And this team, it doesn't look much different than it did last year, does it?
Oh, no. In fact, I don't think they've signed a major league free agent. I know they had one minor league signing this past week, but they haven't signed a major league free agent this offseason. It's kind of jarring to see the Cardinals really stand pat, not really try to improve on the club. But this is what the team told you what was going to happen. They told you point blank, hey, look, we're trying to drop down on payroll. We're trying to use the youth that we have on this team and try to roll with them and see what they can do and see how they can develop and improve next year and try to build this bridge to the future. And you're seeing it in the moves that they make, or the lack of moves that they have made in this offseason. And still, I'm excited to see what the younger guys can do. It's not just that they're young and they're seasoned. I mean, it's Lars Nootbaar has been around for quite a bit of years now. Brendan Donovan has had a few years under his belt. Mason Wynn now has a year under his belt. Jordan Walker hopefully will be able to use this offseason this spring to kind of get ready for this season, and maybe he flourishes in this new role that he has. That's the exciting part about it. I think, though, the expectation, I think you need to temper it if you're a Cardinals fan, and that's not necessarily the worst thing in the world if it means that in the future, if what they hope comes to fruition, this Chaim Bloom generation of players that will be developed down to the minor leagues, and players will be able to help or bring in a big-time superstar in the future to help the team out and win a World Series, well, then that's something to be excited about. Maybe not in the short term, but definitely in the long term.
What about Wilson Contreras training to play first base? That can't be an easy transition.
No, and it's not. And I know that I saw a video. It was from MLB Network. I forget who the first baseman was. It was someone who transitioned. Actually, was playing the other corner over at third base, moved over to first base, and he was talking a lot about how just the differences in what you see and how to prepare and how fast the ball comes at you on a ground ball and where to be able to place your feet when you're trying to get a runner out, when the ball's being thrown to you. All those little things is something that Wilson Contreras has had to learn over the last few months. And I'm excited to see where his training has taken him. But the willingness of Wilson Contreras to be able to change positions, knowing that the Cardinals had a couple of catchers that they trusted, they wanted to develop and everything, and Ivan Herrera and Pedro Pajes, it just shows the selflessness that he has come and embraced here in St. Louis. You saw when they wanted him to become a DH instead of catching a couple of years ago, kind of threw him under the bus for some of the struggles that the Cardinals were having. But he took it in stride and continued to be professional. The last year, I thought he was excellent until before he got hurt. And then when he got hurt, that kind of stifled what was he was having a great first half to his season. He's always been a professional, and so happy that he continues to take things in stride, and certainly is a team player for St. Louis.
How much of this move of Contreras to first base is predicated on the fact that the Cardinals, we don't know exactly how competitive they're going to be. I know they said they want them to be competitive, but it is a transition year. Like, if the Cardinals were going to be very competitive this year, they wouldn't have moved Contreras, right?
Well, I mean, I think it underscores what they want to do with the players in their system. They want to be able to develop them and move them to and get them to where those younger guys are competing. And so, I agree, Amy, in a sense that yes, taking a guy who's played catcher for his entire career and moving him in one off season certainly shows that they may not be 100% committed to winning this year, but it also shows that maybe that there is a way that you can use Contreras in a winning situation without having him playing his natural position. Him getting to learn brings a lot of versatility to your lineup, and I think that's the main goal for the Cardinals this year is to try to figure out how they can win on the margins if they do end up competing, rather than trying to go out there and spend a ton on free agents like they had been over the last few years.
Well, while pitchers and catchers are reporting this week, tomorrow, the rest of the team will be there shortly. And one person that will be there, wasn't expected to be there, is Nolan Arenado. What's going on there?
Yeah, very odd situation there with Mozeliak going out over the winter and saying that the Cardinals planned to trade him, and then they couldn't find either couldn't find any trade partners that were willing to take on that contract, or Arenado with his no trade clause didn't want to go. They had that deal with Houston that fell through, and because Arenado stopped it. It's a very odd situation, and one that they hope to resolve when the season comes. But as of right now, knowing Arenado is a St. Louis Cardinal, and how that relationship is going to play out this spring, it's going to be super awkward. It might be, but the fact of the matter is he still plays for the Cardinals, and and he's it's like what Lars Newbar says. He's a professional. They're two close friends. They work out together in California every off season. He's a professional. He's going to be ready to go no matter what the situation is. I don't expect Arenado to stay a Cardinal all this year, whether that is at the beginning of the campaign or in the middle of the season, if the Cardinals end up not performing as well like many expect them to. But it's definitely an awkward situation there, and who knows how long this will be until this is resolved.
We're talking with Kevin Ryan, sports anchor for Fox 2 and KPLR 11. And Kevin, before we let you go, I know the St. Louis Blues are off for a couple of weeks, but they are currently in 6th place in the Central Division, and they didn't necessarily go into this break strong, even though they did have a win in a shootout in their final game. Do you see the Blues missing out on the playoffs this year?
Yeah, it certainly looks like it. And going into the season, that was definitely a possibility. A lot of the prognosticators didn't think that the Blues had the roster to be able to. They may be to compete for the postseason, but not necessarily want to make the postseason. And it certainly has played out that way. They've struggled at times this year, going on these long streaks of losing. It happened in November. It happened just recently where they lost 5 consecutive home games, 5 out of 7 overall. They've just been too inconsistent to make you believe that even if they do make the postseason, there is going to be anything of note. So it certainly is trending that way. I'm interested in seeing what happens over the next month or so as the trade deadline comes. Do the Blues stand pat, or do they trade a guy like Braden Shen, even though he has a no trade clause? He kind of gets to dictate, if he does get traded, where he wants to go. It's been, one of those deals for the Blues where, the inconsistent play has kind of burned them. And now they're in a situation where they've had been the last couple of years where a lot of teams are looking at their players, trying to see if they can add to their teams going into this playoff run.
He is Kevin Ryan's sports anchor for Fox 2. You can also catch him on KPLR 11. Kevin, thank you for joining us this morning.
I'm super grateful. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and I hope to be able to talk to you guys soon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Kevin Ryan. Hey, Michael, you haven't run into Kevin at Fox 2 on Sunday morning,
haven't.
have you?
We have different times
Different
together.
schedules?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
they've got some knowledgeable sports folks over there.
they do good work over at Fox 2. Of course, Hancock and Kelly on Sunday mornings
I know.
with Andy Banker. He is Michael Kelly. I'm Amy Mark Scores. It's the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
What's it going to take for you to realize the IRS is in full-blown attack mode, and if you have IRS issues, your timely response is critical? Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. We certainly know the IRS has ramped up efforts because we're seeing a lot more clients with threats of intents to seize property or levy rights to property. If you have IRS issues, call the Lance Drury Firm today. Today, don't wait. Those IRS notices have hard deadlines for exercising your appeal rights. If you miss the deadline, your rights to a legal appeal are gone. Let the Lance Drury Law Firm get between you and the IRS today, and we'll help you manage your case to achieve the best outcome. IRS problems are serious legal matters, so call Lance Drury Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Don't wait. Call 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120, and schedule your free consultation with me, Lance Drury, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Get dressed for the 10th anniversary of Jet Men's Fashion Week, February 16th at Energizer Park. It's a great event, raising awareness for men's prostate cancer through men's fashion. Redefine menswear with designers like Terry Singh, Holly Gibson, Julius Evans, Shop Ambition, and more, while supporting this great cause. Together, we can make a difference. Get more information about Jet Men's Fashion Week at kingmox.com/events.
Paid for by government. Throughout the history of America's Silver Eagle coin series, there's never been a Mint State coin struck with a special Privy Mark. Until now. That's right. The world's most popular silver bullion coin has just been struck with the special Star Privy Mark. Silver Eagles are the best-selling silver coin since first being introduced by the U.S. Mint in 1986. This is an amazing and historic event, but you must hurry. A strict limited edition mintage has been set, and once they are gone, they are gone. These first ever Silver Eagles are brand new legal tender coins, minted in 99.9% pure silver by the Philadelphia Mint. For a limited time radio offer, save $5 off every coin. Just call 1-800-473-3993 to secure the first ever Star Privy Marked Mint State Silver Eagle coin. Plus receive free shipping, but you must call now. Call 1-800-473-3993 now to secure this first ever Silver Eagle. That's 1-800-473-3993.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code LANE to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code LANE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code LANE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
What was my first impression when I walked in? Wow.
It makes me feel like I matter. They've just done everything in their power to make me feel welcome and cared for.
I feel like I can go forward because now I'm in good health.
She wasn't looking at her watch. She wasn't rushing things. She took the time to understand what I was going through.
Ready to upgrade your primary care in St. Louis? Visit archwellhealth.com or call 314-668-2173 to join now during Medicare open enrollment.
You're leaving for work, but the garage door won't open. Is it the opener? Is the spring broken? Now you're late and your car is trapped. Well, don't panic. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis is here with same-day emergency service. They won't leave you stuck. The original Red Ribbon Garage Door Company, trusted in St. Louis since 1926. Call 314-781-5200 or schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
I see clearly now thanks to the doctors, Birdie, Malhotra, Brusati, Royer, and Barry. You can too. Go to youridoc.com.
I'm Scott Jagow. This is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Guess who we're giving away? Wait, guess what tickets we're giving away, Michael Kelly?
The Doobie Brothers.
That is right. We're giving away
them.
Doobie Brothers tickets. Don't call. We're not doing it now. Don't call.
Oh,
Just
really?
be very careful. We are not giving away the tickets now. We're giving away the tickets at some point during the show, but not now. And remember, when we do, but not now, call the contest line. But keep listening.
Can I tell my Doobie Brothers story now?
Would love it.
So I guess it was like 2 years ago. I was in New York with my mother and my oldest sister, Colleen, and her husband, Paul, and we were having dinner right across the street outside at, just a little cafe or something outside of Radio City Music Hall. And I looked over there and it said on the, what do they call it? The marquee. The Doobie Brothers with Michael McDonald was going to be there. And they had
St.
their
Louisan,
names.
Michael
Yeah.
McDonald. Ferguson.
And so we were just about to finish up. So I excused myself. I walked across the street. I said, "Do you have any tickets to the Doobie Brothers still?" And she says, "Well, of course we do."
Of course.
And we walked, literally, it was like a movie. We just went from dinner into the Doobie Brothers for like $40 and
What?
Saw the Doobie Brothers at Radio City Music Hall.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
Wait, when was
right?
this? How long ago?
It's like a year and a half ago.
Oh my gosh, were they great?
Last minute tickets. Yeah, they were great. They were fine. I mean, it's every song, right?
They do not sing though. Doobie doobie doo. Do, 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 do,
No,
do.
they don't sing that. I don't think that's a Doobie Brothers song, is it?
I don't think so. But I mean,
who is that?
Crosby, Stills and Nash.
Yeah, right. Oh, I'm trying to get to the
yeah,
song.
yeah. Well, the Doobie Brothers with Michael McDonald. I think we interviewed Michael McDonald back with Charlie Brennan.
Oh yeah, Charlie, because he's from Ferguson.
He
I
is.
think.
He is.
Long time since he's been to Ferguson, I think.
Yeah, I don't know
Or
when
back to St.
when the
Louis.
last time he visited, but that's going to be a lot of fun because the Doobie Brothers are coming to the Hollywood Casino Amphitheater September 4th. Also, I want to remind all of you, because we want to hear from you today on so many things, the Super Bowl, but also it's Monday, which means we have Monday regrets. So Michael Kelly said, and I quote, "I'm a ball of regrets."
Yes.
Yep. So he's going to be a
ball
great
of
person
regrets.
to
Yeah.
have on for Monday regrets. We want to hear your Monday regrets. You can text them in 314-436-7900. That is the text line. You can also call that number. And the KMOX on the Odyssey app. Go to KMOX on the Odyssey app. Make sure you download the Odyssey app because you can listen to us wherever you go, but also there's a voice message feature there.
It's like a microphone.
It looks like a little microphone icon, and you press it, you hold it down, it goes 3, 2, 1, and you leave us a voice message. It goes directly to us so we can play your voice message. I think we've got one now.
Yes, we've got one from Harold.
That halftime show was ridiculous. Ruined the whole Super Bowl game.
It ruined it? I don't think it ruined it. I think the Chiefs didn't play very well.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
that's
but it was 15 minutes straight of if you weren't into it, it was a committed 15 minutes there.
It was, and like we said, we're old. We get
Yeah.
it. We're
I don't
old.
think Harold's old there. I just think he just didn't like music.
Harold's probably old. I think so.
I wouldn't assume
I think we're old. And so I get it. I get it. We weren't the target demo because if you were between the ages of 17 and 25, you got it. You got the lyrics. You got the Drake versus Kendrick Lamar rivalry, Serena Williams and SZA, I guess Drake's exes. Which what in the world? Maybe it was just rumored that Serena Williams dated Drake because she is way too cool for Drake. Drake was in Degrassi on Nickelodeon, a
I don't
Canadian
even
teen
know
drama.
that I could tell you a Drake song.
You used to call me on my
The
cell
funny thing is, like,
phone.
the diss track was about Drake, but Drake halftime performance would have been way better.
Really?
Everybody knows.
But
this
all the
song.
cool kids are with
He's
Kendrick.
got way more hits than Kendrick does. I like Kendrick better, but Drake's got the more.
But I
recognizable
thought
songs.
Kendrick had more more top 100 Billboard top 100 and more Grammys than Drake.
That could be.
Does everybody diss on Drake? Because even Taylor Swift has that song where she's got "You're in Your Feelings" more than Drake.
He's kind of wimpy. Yeah, he acts all tough, and this is me as a
He's
as
whiny.
a radio producer. He acts all tough, but his songs are all like very wimpy and about love and kind of like sob stories. Like they're just really lame.
See, now I like the Kendrick Lamar half show even better. I'm glad they chose him over Drake.
Yeah.
I don't like wimpy Nickelodeon guys.
I don't know. I wish we could go back to John Lennon and Paul McCartney fighting with each other, and they were the ones singing.
Well, that's Michael Kelly. That's a regret he has. We want to hear your Monday regrets, 314-436-7900, or leave us a message on the Odyssey app. It's the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
Now, your Live Nation lineup.
Don't miss these upcoming shows. Get tickets and info at livenation.com. Daryl Hall, Steeple Theater, March 30th. Sesanta, Primus, Pucifer, A Perfect Circle, Hollywood Casino Amphitheater, May 29th. Simple Minds, Hollywood Casino Amphitheater, June 5th. And Rod Stewart, Hollywood Casino Amphitheater, August 15th.
For tickets and info, hit up livenation.com.
Hi, Stacy here with Fairwinds Rivers Edge Senior Living in St. Charles. We have a helpful seminar coming up Friday, March 7th that just might be the help you didn't even know you needed. Learn about the current housing market and tips on how to downsize and move from a home you may have been in for 20 years, or maybe it's been 50. Happy hour follows. Visit us online at fairwindsriversedge.com and let us know if you're able to join us. Thanks, and we hope to talk with you soon.
When you haven't found love,
It can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Here's how to get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. Our US-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you, and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
KMOX, KEZK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The home of the Cardinals, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Could you make $500,000 in retirement savings feel like $1 million, or $1 million feel like $2 million? You could. The key is having a comprehensive financial plan for taxes, Social Security, inflation, healthcare, income, and more. Discover how you could make your money go a lot further in retirement in a 3-hour adult education class called Retirement Planning 101. Hey, it's Sue Thomas, and this is a one-night class taught by a fiduciary advisor from Financial and Tax Architects with decades of financial planning experience. And they hold these at colleges and libraries throughout St. Louis. There's no cost, but bring 3 canned goods for St. Louis Crisis Nursery. If you've saved $300,000 or more for retirement, register by calling 314-947-2012, 314-947-2012. That's 314-947-2012.
It's 12 o'clock in mid-America. Cloudy sky, 35 degrees downtown at the Arch. President Trump says his plan for U.S. ownership of Gaza would not allow for Palestinians to return there.
Less than a week ago, the president pitched turning the war-torn territory into something magnificent.
The Riviera of the Middle East.
Administration officials argued he was only calling for the temporary relocation of Gaza's population. But when asked in a Fox News interview today if Palestinians would have a right to return, the president answered, no, they wouldn't. His plan's been roundly blasted by U.S. allies and adversaries alike. Sagar Meghani at the White House.
The president has directed the Treasury Department to stop minting new pennies. CBS's Stacey Lynn at the White House.
He said it costs the U.S. Mint more than 2 cents to make each 1-cent coin. The Mint says it lost $85.3 million last year on the 3.2 billion pennies it produced. But the question of can the president do this is still unclear. When it comes to the legal authority on U.S. currencies, the Constitution states the Congress shall have power to coin money and regulate the value thereof.
The nickel could be on the chopping block next. It costs nearly 14 cents to make each 5-cent piece. A sales slump at McDonald's.
McDonald's is reporting weak sales to close out the year in the U.S. The 1.4% decline was between October through December. An E. coli outbreak in several states linked to onions and quarter-pounder hamburgers put a dent in demand. McDonald's did report strong sales growth in the Middle East and Japan. Back in the U.S., sales had been slow to start the year and began to pick up with the addition of a $5 value menu. It was extended through the end of the year. But McDonald's CEO says it's been a struggle for them and other fast food companies to bring in low-income customers. The E. coli outbreak was reported in October. 1 person died. That helped weaken sales numbers to close out the year. I'm Ed Donahue.
The KMOX Business Desk, the owner of Banana Republic, says get back in your work clothes.
Gap is joining the growing list of companies that want their corporate employees back in the office more. The retailer is asking workers who live close to their offices to work in person more frequently. Gap's goal is to have staffers back in their offices full-time by the fall. Kimberly Adams, Bloomberg Radio.
The Dow from Stifel is up 108 points to 44,412. There was a crash on 270 going south at 6440. It's got the right lane closed. 2 lanes are open. An incident on 70 going west at Adelaide. That's on the right shoulder. And they've cleared a crash on 55 south at Revis Barracks.
Some sun followed by clouds this afternoon, high 39, then cloudy tonight, low 31. There'll be a little snow at times late tonight into tomorrow, especially south of the city, where there can be a coating to an inch, enough to cause some slick spots. Otherwise, cloudy and cold tomorrow, high 37. I'm AccuWeather's Joe Lundberg on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
We've got 35 in St. Peter's, 35 in Forest, 35 feels like 27 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Use both your KMOX presets when you're in the car. 98.7 FM near the city and 1120 AM further out. 2 buttons for KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Regret? Let's not say anything we're going to regret.
I regret it. All of us will come to regret this.
I'm serious. You won't regret it. Get over here right now.
It's Monday Regrets with Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Michael Kelly in for Chris Ranji, who knows where that guy is. We're thinking about him, wishing him well. It is time for Monday Regrets. We want to hear from you. Don't forget, you can text us at 314-436-7900. You can also leave us a voice message on the Odyssey app, the little microphone icon. Michael Kelly here, my good buddy. He says he's a ball of regret. So do you want to kick us off, and then I'll get to some texts?
Yeah, just on the weekend alone.
Yeah.
You know, all right, I regret this.
Mm.
I went to the store and bought some chocolate-covered pretzels with salt on them for my Super Bowl party. Okay, and then I also picked up some chocolate-covered caramels for my Super Bowl party. Okay?
Yeah.
And I did this at like 10 a.m.
Yeah.
The chocolate-covered pretzels never made it to the party.
Oh, because they were too delicious?
Well, I thought, well, I'll have one. And then I'm like, now I'm a sloth, and I'm sitting there watching this and feeling guilty the whole time, thinking, you know, I ruined the whole deal because I ate a box of these little chocolate. Regret it.
Yeah.
I regret it.
No, I get it. So many of my regrets are either food or shopping related. As you all know, I had a very unfortunate ankle injury. I stepped on a gumball thing, fell on the ground, was on my back like an old lady. Like, I've fallen and I can't get up type thing, and I just hurt my ankle and I haven't been able to run. But here's the thing. For the past 2 years, I've trained pretty hard and I've been in good shape. Yeah. And I love to shop. And it's fun to shop when you're in shape. And I bought all these pants. Well, now that Amy hasn't run for 2 months, guess who's having a hard time fitting into her pants? I'm just telling you, it doesn't take much for trousers, which are button trousers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And especially, I think, because with women's
high-waisted
yes,
stuff,
because the hip, the lower ones that sit lower, those are way more forgiving. But I love the old-timey high-waisted trousers. And let me tell you, Michael, here's what I do. You wear a longer sweater like the one I have on now. So that way when you sit down, you can unbutton the trouser.
Oh, trust me.
And just keep it unbuttoned, because sitting down, like, I'm not saying the trousers don't fit. They fit. What I'm saying is sitting down is a completely different experience now, where I'm like, why do I feel like this is cutting me in half? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been wearing I get it. I regret buying pants that fit perfectly. I think you should always buy pants that are a little big.
I was going to say, you should be buying your clothes a little bit baggy. Now, I wear mine all baggy because, you know, I've been known to balloon up and balloon down. And wardrobes are expensive.
Yeah, they're expensive.
So right now, I could be about 150 pounds under all this clothes. You wouldn't know it because it looks baggy.
Well,
you know
that's
you can
the
pull
thing.
it off.
My clothes are baggy, but it's the waist.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, look at all this fabric. Nothing but fabric. But yeah. So anyway, I just as a public service announcement, buy some pants that are, you know.
I have another regret.
Mm-hmm.
This weekend on Saturday, I had nothing to do in the evening. Now, that sounds pathetic, right? As a single man, I had nothing to do. But I was actually looking forward to this. I had nobody to hang out with, nobody that I had to be responsible to. I didn't have to get up in their morning. So it's like 7 o'clock in the evening. I've had dinner, and I thought, I'm just going to chill out, surf the internet, watch whatever grubby TV I want. So I turn on the TV, and what do I see? But Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Okay.
Indiana Jones. And I think, how great is this? And I'm starting to watch Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark. But it's on like Paramount, or not a streaming service, on a regular TV channel. So you get like 4 minutes of content, and then you go to 8 minutes of commercial.
3.5 hours to watch the movie. Yeah.
Oh, Amy, it was like 4 or 5 hours, and I got sucked into the second Indiana Jones. And here's why I'm regretful. I own the movies. I
Yeah.
could be watching them for free without the commercials, but because I sat there and watched.
I know.
I wasted a whole night.
You could have watched multiple
Two.
movies. Yeah.
No commercials.
I don't know why. Don't you think it's a little bit more fun though, just knowing that it's on? I think that's why we keep it on.
But I know all about Medicaid Part D now if
Yeah.
if you need anything help with your hearing.
Okay.
And you don't want to go to one of the big box retailers,
Yeah.
but you want to do it online, I know all about it.
Excellent.
Uh-huh.
We've got a regret from a 402. What is 402? From
Memphis?
a 402. Says,
No.
I regret having to listen to Tom Brady as an announcer.
Ooh.
He is bad.
Tom Brady needs to eat a cheeseburger. Was I the only person yesterday
No.
that thought he looked like Skeletor?
You were not, and I know it is not popular. People are like, don't comment on people's weight. I get it. It's just that he looked a little gaunt.
Yes.
And it was a little shocking. So much so that even my brother, who is like, he watches sports, and he's like, whatever, he's
Uh-huh.
not picking on people. And he goes, wow, Tom Brady looks very gaunt and thin.
His eyes were sunken
Mm-hmm.
in, his chin bone, which, come on. If your chin bone's coming through,
I know.
know,
I don't know if it's because
you already got a great looking chin, dude. You don't need to
I don't know if it's
emasculate or
stress.
What do they call that when you don't need to
Emaciated.
emaciate
Yeah.
yourself?
I don't know if it's stress or if it's just I know he's really into being healthy. Like, he doesn't eat nightshades.
He didn't look healthy.
I don't know. I think eat, I don't know. Just don't be gaunt. Okay. We also have a 636.
Mm-hmm.
I regret drinking that entire case of beer after my Chiefs got smashed. Yeah.
Now, is it case 12 or 24?
Entire case of
By the way,
beer.
that you should be regretful even after 5 or 6 of them there. A case of beer after they lost?
That's called medicating. You're drinking after a
But
loss.
how does that person even answer the bell to be able to competently send a text to us this morning?
A case of beer is 24 bottles. Or cans, I should say.
My friend, that is regretful.
That's a lot.
We've got a voice message regret.
All right.
This is from Mike.
Still regretting I never got that date with Amy 2 years ago. Come on, Amy, shoot.
Oh,
Do you know Mike?
No,
I don't know Mike either.
I don't know Mike. Well, that's why he regrets it.
Oh,
Well, I'll take it as a
He
compliment.
was asking you out on a date?
Well, I guess I think he's saying hypothetically, maybe.
Huh.
Yeah, that's a compliment
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, for you.
for me. Yeah.
Yeah, but
absolutely.
he's regretting it. I wonder if
Okay.
he talks to his
Here's
therapist
a
about it.
618. No regrets here. That can't be true.
Well, it is. Maybe they live in Bell Vegas, and if you're in Bell Vegas, there's nothing to be regretting.
I've never heard of Bell Vegas.
You've never heard of Bell Vegas? Oh, you need to spend a night out in Belleville, man. They all call it Bell Vegas.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Bell Vegas, no regrets
No
there.
regrets there.
This 314 says, I regret watching the entire halftime show. I could not understand anything he said, and the captions couldn't keep up with the lyrics. I say, good on you for trying to read the captions and keep
Yeah.
up.
Um,
I think, like you said, you have to know Kendrick Lamar, and then you get it. And we're not cool enough. We're not young enough. I'm not hip. No one ever accused me of being hip or young, and I was on the outside looking in.
Well, I'm going to assume that person had hearing that had captions on, but who has captions on for Super Bowl game? Like, it would not be necessary, right?
I mean,
Or maybe they're just like me.
if
They
you-
don't know how to turn them off.
Well, there is that.
I regret that I don't know how to turn the captions off.
I like the captions.
Did I ever tell you
I
that?
think I'm losing my hearing. I
am.
I
too.
like can't understand sitcoms.
There's a setting on Netflix now that if you accidentally turn it on, they describe what's visually happening on the show. And so, like, if you started at the beginning, when the Netflix goes boom, it would go a loud noise with a red N. But I was watching a show one night where it was describing to me she's wearing a 3-buckle, shoe on. What is going on?
Was that a pilgrim?
And then I finally learned how to turn it off.
Oh
To
wow!
turn off the setting.
I haven't heard that setting before. I haven't
Oh.
accidentally gotten to that setting.
I bet your Netflix will do it to you now.
Yeah. I don't know if I have.
It's like the overly descriptive closed captions.
Yeah. Okay, we do have from a 618. This was Mike, the voice message. He said the regret was when he texted into the show to ask me on a date.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah.
He must have asked you, and you maybe weren't interested.
What does this mean? This is from a 636.
Moving on.
Don't try that. Wait, don't try with Goose Island IPA 9.9% ABV. Isn't Goose Island vodka?
No, it's a beer.
Oh.
You're thinking of Grey Goose or
Yeah, maybe.
Oh.
Don't try that Goose Island
It's
IPA.
a 9%
That's what he
alcohol beer.
regrets. Sorry, I get it. Sometimes the way
Yeah.
our texts come in are a little weird. I apologize. It's the system. So if this person from a 636 regrets trying Goose Island IPA 9.9% ABV.
Yeah, you got to be careful. I had a
That's
Boulevard.
high.
The Boulevard
Yeah.
has a Tank 7. It's a pretty good beer,
Yeah.
but it's one of those that's like 10 or 11%.
Yeah.
And you drink two of them not knowing that it's got a 10 or
Yep.
11%.
So that
You're
will
done
mess
for
you
the
up.
night.
We've done that on one of my hiking trips.
Hey,
You're
now.
at 12,000 feet, and everyone's got all these
Lack of
microbreweries. Yeah, these microbreweries, and you get a beer and you're drinking it, and you're like, "Wow, this what am I drinking?" And that happened to my friend Noah, where she was drinking a beer, and she's like, "This is not regular beer," and it was like 11%. And if you're at elevation,
That's
she's
like wine.
"Yeah." She's like, "Well, I guess this is what I'm having because
Uh-huh.
it's not like you're drinking a Bud Light," which someone said Bud Light is what you drink to sober up.
Well, you drink beer at a different pace than you
Yeah.
drink wine and alcohol, so you wind up consuming more. So when they sneak it by you with 10 or 11%, they're going to sneak up on you.
From a 314. This 314 regrets eating nearly 4 cups of buffalo chicken dip last night. It was really good, homemade with chopped up green onion. But yeah, I regret the volume.
Well, the buffalo chicken dip, it was at my dinner last
Yeah.
night, and it was fabulously prepared. But I don't know, there's just too much food. That's what happened at my party last night.
Yeah.
There was too much food. So this morning, as I was, reminiscing on it or cleaning up the remainders of it, I'm throwing away a lot of old food,
Yeah. Yeah.
including some buffalo chicken that was fabulous.
Why
at my
weren't
place.
why weren't people eating more? I feel like we really cleaned house.
I think we were just watching. There's only four of
Yeah.
us, so we were only watching. I regret that all the food that got spoiled at my party.
From a
I'm good at this regret stuff.
618, I regret that I missed Hancock and Kelly Friday morning because I slept too late.
We have our own podcast. You can go to the Hancock and Kelly show,
Yeah.
and you only have to listen to a couple of commercials.
Oh, that's
Less commercials.
Oh, there
Don't
you
tell
go.
anybody that. Listen to us live. Better commercials.
Follow up with the Goose Island IPA 9.9% ABV. It was saying don't try it. She meant, don't drink a case of it.
No.
They were saying it's okay to try, but their text was referring to drinking a case of beer.
Uh-huh.
Don't drink a case of an IPA with a 9.9%
Yeah, I got that's where she
ABV.
was going with it. 'Cause,
Yeah.
You probably would wind up in the hospital.
I would think so.
That's too much alcohol.
Matthew,
Yes.
do you have any regrets that you would like to confess on air?
Yeah, so I had I went to a Super Bowl party with my family, and I loaded up on food like everybody else did, but I loaded up on the wrong food, like the little meats and cheeses that are
Uh-huh.
laid out. Those are like the starters.
Yeah.
Once people show up, they bring in the good stuff, the chicken wings and the toasted wraps and meatballs, things like that. I loaded up on the wimpy starter stuff, and I
Oh.
got too full, and I couldn't dive into the good stuff.
Couldn't eat the good
And I
stuff.
just sat on the couch in like a comatose state, just so
Rookie
full.
move.
Just can't even move.
Oh, that's
Need
a
to pace
bummer.
myself better.
That's the equivalent of filling up on bread
Yeah.
before like a Thanksgiving meal. You
Yeah.
don't get the good stuff because you filled
right.
up on bread.
And
I'm
meats and
sorry.
cheeses and assorted things like that. I should have saved it for the good stuff.
I do like meat and cheese though.
Yeah.
Like a good charcuterie.
You like charcuterie?
Mhm. I do.
Yeah.
I could live on it, really.
But that's the problem with the Super Bowl party is you're going to cook something big, but there's lots of little snacks, like you said, Matt, and you regret that you get full of all that stuff. I regret that I ate all those pretzels and never
Well-
got to share them with my guests.
Thank you for participating in our Monday Regrets. Good stuff from the listeners. Thank you, Michael Kelly. And hey, don't forget later on in the hour, we will chat with Danon Hughes, Kansas City Chiefs radio analyst.
And we're giving away Doobie Brothers tickets at some point,
What
too,
if
right?
what if we did it now?
What? Huh?
What if we said be the 7th caller to the contest line? The 7th caller to the contest line, 314-955-1120. 314-955-1120. Be the 7th caller. Good luck.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit Lance, DRURY law.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
Setting goals for retirement is one thing, but knowing how to achieve those goals is another.
What are your wishes, hopes, and dreams? What's retirement look like for you? Because everybody, that picture is different.
For tips on building a better nest egg, tune into the All Financial Hour with host Steve All, Saturday mornings at 10 or Sunday evenings at 6, right here on KMOX. You can also visit yourmoneymattersstl.com for more details.
Tiger fans, join 9th-ranked Mizzou Gymnastics as they take the floor right here in St. Louis at Family Arena on Saturday, February 14th at 6:30 p.m. You won't want to miss this opportunity to see 4 top-ranked programs compete head-to-head in the Zoo to the Lou quad meet. Head to MUTigers.com/tickets to purchase your tickets today. MIZ.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-390-0874. 800-390-0874. 800-390-0874.
KMOX for St. Louis. By St. Louis. Always about St. Louis.
Listen, I didn't want to. I don't want to do this, but I think we have to.
What's that?
There was a commercial yesterday that I think we all noticed.
Mm-hmm.
And for lack of a better term, it was just very booby. It
Oh,
was to
that
raise
ad.
it was to raise awareness for breast cancer, which is good that we're raising awareness for that. However, it was quite a bit. It was distracting no matter who you are. Now, sometimes, and I'm not trying to be vulgar here. Sometimes boobs are kind of distracting anyway.
Yes.
But it was like, it felt, listen, I get they were trying to get your point, get people's attention, which they did. But there was something about the zooming in on it where it was just very objectifying. Even like, it's like women get breast cancer. It's not just boobs getting breast cancer. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? I felt like it objectified, and I get like, well, we're trying to be, we're trying to get
Well, it
people's
got
attention.
everybody's
and being-
attention.
Yeah, but I think half the people were like drooling over themselves and didn't know what
No.
it was for afterwards.
This is where you're wrong. Because I have a unique opinion as it relates to breasts.
What do you mean? You have a unique
I
opinion?
believe breasts are like fireworks. They come in all sizes, they come in all shapes, they come in all colors. But if we were out in public right now and all of a sudden fireworks went off, what happens?
Everybody looks.
Everybody
Yeah.
looks.
Even
It
if you don't
doesn't
like
matter
fireworks.
who you
Yeah.
are, you look for fireworks.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, if I yelled, "Oh my gosh, look out that window, that woman's got her top off."
Yeah.
I don't care if you're 90 years old, you're a nun, you're a businessman, everybody's looking at boobs. They grab everybody's attention.
I will say
They're like fireworks.
he's not wrong.
I'm exactly
and
right.
And it doesn't mean necessarily like not even from
You don't even have to like them.
right.
But
So
you're gonna
I guess
look.
That's my point, is because I have gone out before where like I'm at a restaurant or at a bar, and sometimes there's a very, very, very well endowed lady,
Right.
and I'm kind of like, wow,
now.
that's
Yeah,
no,
whoa,
not
where'd you
hey
get-
now,
oh.
but for me, it's more like, wow, that's distracting.
It's gotta hurt your back.
It's gotta hurt your back, and I'm like, I wonder what do you do all the time?
Uh-huh.
Do you like that's going to take a lot of support? It's just they're just distracting, especially when they're out, when they're displayed. Which fine, hey, more power to you.
Well,
but
yeah.
it's just you're right. They are like fireworks.
You can't help but look. You
Why is
cannot
that?
help but look. I don't know. It's like fireworks. Why isn't when fireworks go off, everybody looks up?
I know.
Even if it's just like a little, bottle rocket just going
So
up.
from another standpoint, though, again, like whatever, I'm a girl, right? You see it, you're like, okay, that's kind of obnoxious. Like I said, my first thought was, again, women get breast cancer, not just boobs, right? There are women, their mothers and sisters and friends and aunts, and I felt like it kind of objectified the whole thing. It wasn't to me the most effective messaging. But what about watching these commercials with your family or like your grandpa?
Yeah, and I was watching mine with people, and my thought immediately was like, "Wait a minute, did I change the channel?" Because there's kids watching this,
Right.
and it was not only pictures of boobs; it was somewhat sexual.
100%
somewhat
sexualized,
sexual,
yeah.
which I think was the problem. Now, fortunately, I'm at an age that I wasn't sitting there with my parents, so but
I
I would have been uncomfortable as could be.
I had grandparents in the room.
You had your
Parents,
grandparents
neighbors.
there?
Oh yeah, everybody. It's family.
Isn't it
family
weird
event.
that you and your grandpa are looking at the same set of fireworks?
Thinking the same thing?
Huh?
Thinking the same thing? It brings
Somebody
together
help
generations
me.
of people. Fireworks. Anybody can appreciate them.
Yeah, I mean, it's just they're part of life.
I mean, they are, and
An
like I
important
said,
part.
it is distracting. So I will say, the fact that they're like fireworks is a really funny and apt analogy, because it doesn't matter what you're attracted to, not you're attracted to, male, female. It's just distracting, and like if someone's very well endowed and just talking to
Shooting
you and
fireworks
is,
off, you
yeah,
can't help but be distracted.
yes, but it is weird, especially with younger kids
Yeah.
and like 11 and 12-year-old boys, and you're like,
Now-
all right, well,
But to your point earlier about the Super Bowl performance, first time everybody having pants on, there have been Super Bowl performances where folks are running around for 15 minutes with that little of clothing on top
well,
of
remember the Jennifer
Janet Jackson.
Well, that, yeah, but then the Jennifer Lopez Shakira, where they were like on stripper poles
Yeah.
and they were dancing, that was just as awkward.
But I'll tell you what, it was an effective ad, and then it ended with that comedian, I forget who it was.
Wanda Sykes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
making the point, and everybody went, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Check
Well,
for breast cancer. Look at the fireworks.
I thought there too many fireworks, a little up close and personal. But that's just my taste. Hey, next we're gonna chat with Danon Hughes.
Oh my!
Kansas
Can you imagine
City
this guy's
Chiefs
night?
radio
Jeez.
analyst. I don't know. I look forward to getting his thoughts on last night's game. I know it was a disappointment, but we shall see. Danon Hughes joins Michael Kelly and me on the Chris and Amy Show next.
Drowning in IRS debt? If you can't afford to pay your IRS debt due to economic hardship, you can now be free of IRS collection efforts by taking advantage of a special IRS tax hardship program. This program allows Americans who owe the IRS to resolve their delinquent tax debt once and for all. In some cases, maybe even reducing what you owe significantly. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Simply dial 800-485-7220. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back or have years of unfiled tax returns, help is standing by. Just call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-485-7220 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-485-7220 to see if you qualify. That's 800-485-7220.
Need a lawyer? Onder wins. Call Onder Law at 314-9-MILLION. That's 314-9-all-zeros. Or go to onderwins.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
Hey guys, Dave Glover here from the DGS on KMOX. Maybe you heard my mom passed away this past summer, and she was in hospice before she passed away. And I found this amazing group called NODA, No One Dies Alone. These amazing volunteers who sit with your loved one overnight while you go home and get some rest. After my mom passed away, to honor her, I decided to join NODA at Bethesda Health, and it's been incredibly meaningful and remarkable to me. If you're interested in this, please go to BethesdaHealth.org. That's BethesdaHealth.org for NODA, No One Dies Alone.
At 12:30, it's a cloudy sky and 36 degrees downtown at the Arch. Correspondent Jim Krasula reports on a fatal bus accident in the Pacific Northwest.
4 people died, including 2 17-year-olds, when a car crashed into a charter bus near Wenatchee, Washington. It happened when the car hit the bus while trying to pass a third vehicle. The 2 teens in the car were killed, as were the 66-year-old bus driver and a passenger on the bus.
The Washington State Patrol says many of those on the bus were from the Spokane area and ranged in age from 18 to 84. A crash on 270 going south at 64 Highway 40. The right 2 lanes are closed. 2 lanes there. Also a crash on a stalled vehicle, 270 going northbound, other direction at Gravois. That's got the right shoulder closed. And the forecast for this afternoon, high 39. For tonight, cloudy, low 31. We get some snow late tonight into tomorrow. Coating to an inch with a high 37. And for Wednesday, up to 1 to 3 inches and 3 to 6 inches north and west of the city, and a high of 32. Right now, 36, feels like 27. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Hey guys, Glover here with my very, very good friend, Dr. Kathy Maupin at BioBalanceHealth.com. If you have reached that certain age and you're just not feeling very well and nothing's working the way it used to work, go see Dr. Kathy. She is not only a medical doctor, she is a patient of this bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. It absolutely works. It's a long-term solution. She is an artist when it comes to helping you with your hormones. BioBalanceHealth.com for Dr. Kathy Maupin.
Now's a great time to call Morelli Tuck Pointing, get an estimate on exterior tuck pointing, and hop on the spring schedule. Now, if you've been thinking of getting any interior brickwork or stonework tuck pointed, this is also a great time for that. Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. For 34 years, Morelli has been tuck pointing completely solid houses and buildings, repairing brick and stone walls, foundations, walkways, porches, and patios. The Morellis will also caulk and waterproof your home or building. Morelli has worked on 2 of my homes, treating them like they were their own, always leaving the job site cleaner than when they found it, and that's why the Morellis have won the Angie's List Super Service Award every year since 2005. Morelli is also a recipient of the Better Business Bureau Torch Award. Research their reviews on the Google, Angie's List, and Better Business Bureau websites, 314-645-1387 and MorelliTuckPointing.com.
If it's happening in sports, Bernie Nicholas talks about it. Monday and Friday on The Dave Glover Show on KMOX.
For the second time, the Vince Lombardi Trophy is headed to Philadelphia. Eagles fly in Super Bowl 59.
The final call of last night's Super Bowl, courtesy of Fox. And, well, somebody had to win, somebody had to lose. That's the nature of sports. And graciously joining us now, as he does each week, is Danon Hughes. He is the Kansas City Chiefs radio analyst and, of course, a former wide receiver himself. Danon, first, thank you for joining us today.
Well, thanks for having me. I know we played bad, but I didn't know that Chris was just going to just leave us just because we played a bad game. What the heck is going on?
I know.
We got hit in the mouth, Amy. We got hit in the mouth. We got hit in the ear. We got our ear bit. We got our eye hit. We got everything hit.
Okay, Danon, it's so true. I actually thought, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is what it feels like to get hit in the mouth. Let's jump in. Why? I've never, we haven't been on this side of things for a while. What happened? I mean, other than I know the Eagles, I mean, all credit to the Eagles, right? A great team, but what happened to the Chiefs?
Yeah, I just think that we were out of sorts and didn't get back in line. There wasn't anything that happened the beginning of the game, second quarter, coming out after halftime, and by that time it was pretty much over. That kind of jolted us. I feel like there are times in football, and I've been around this game for a long time, where it's like, it's like you're watching a ER or Grey's Anatomy, and there's a patient dying on the table, and they get the paddles out, and they say clear, and they jolt them back to life. And I felt like in the game of football especially, there always seems to be that time, whether it's a turnover or a big return or a big play or something, a big hit that just jolts the entire team back to life. And even with the interception by Brian Cook, that didn't seem to do it. And you thought, okay, well, now here we are. We made them make a mistake. We got a turnover. But then he falls down out of bounds, and I'm not blaming him, but he falls down out of bounds at the 2-yard line, and I couldn't even get excited about it. And I'm calling the game because I'm like, oh my gosh, now, like, it's great that we got a turnover, but all interceptions aren't created the same. And now we're our backs to the goal line. And now if we're going to put something together, we got to go 98 yards to do it against this defense. Like, it might have been better off if they would have kicked a field goal and then just kicked it off to us as opposed to a turnover. So it was just like that kind of factor, that kind of dynamic that just never seemed like everything was latching together. Offense, defense, special teams. And again, you give the Philadelphia Eagles incredible credit for what they were able to do. They were the better team yesterday in all three phases, and there was nothing that we could do about it. And it was unfortunate because, as you guys heard me say in previous weeks, we were going for history, and they were the team that was trying to steal it from us. And we had the opportunity to make history, which doesn't happen very much in NFL. Doesn't happen for teams in the NFL very often, and we fell short.
Danon, I know when you're a fan of the team, you're calling the games, you always are holding out hope that the team can come back. But I imagine at some point, maybe early on, you felt kind of a sinking feeling that something was off. When did you feel that, if at all?
Yeah, I'd say when it got to 24-0.
Yeah.
And I know, we were mentioning it during the broadcast that, when we played the Houston Texans in the playoffs and we were down 24-0 in the first quarter, and then we had time, we came back, obviously, and we were winning by halftime. The difference in that game was that it was the first quarter, and we were at home. And then we had those plays that were like the paddles that jolted us back to life in that game. And the next thing you know, if anybody turned away from the TV and they came back, we were up 31-24. And it was new life. This game, it was 24-0. It was, I believe, middle of the second quarter, maybe close to halftime, and you felt like, wow, like 17-0. If something happened positive, you thought, okay, now we get the ball coming out. We won the coin toss, so we get the ball to start the second half. If we would have got just one touchdown early, you thought, okay, 17-7, hold them. We go into halftime, we come out, we score, and now we got a ball game. And it's a whole different story. Once it got to 24, and it was getting late into that first half, I thought, man, this is not gonna bode well. And we just didn't seem like we were in sync enough to be able to overcome it.
Yeah. Before the game, it was Kurt Warner was talking about Patrick Mahomes and how he has this ability, an insane ability to make the right play in the moment. But it felt like Patrick Mahomes was always kind of scrambling and running out of time last night. He didn't even really look like himself, or at least what we're used to seeing.
Yeah, I'd say there was definitely remnants of what we saw against Tampa Bay Buccaneers in that Super Bowl during the COVID year, where seemed like he was running for his life. But I will say this, and I know he'll say it about himself, and that's the one thing about being a professional athlete, especially on the NFL level. No other sport studies film, studies all the intricacies of the game like an NFL player. We spend more time in the film room than we do on the practice field most times. So we study everything about our game, about the opponent's tendencies, their blitzes, their plays, all of that stuff. And if Patrick Mahomes is watching that film, he'd be able to tell you that he caused some of those pressures himself, not so much the offensive line. And that may be weird to hear as a listener that's out there that, well, it looked like Patrick was running for his life. He didn't have time. There's ways to buy time as a quarterback and ways to avoid pressure. And then there are ways where you run into pressure. And offensive linemen hate it when quarterbacks run into pressure because, one, it makes them look bad. It makes them look like they didn't do their job. When, in essence, if you go back and watch several of those plays, if he would have just backpedaled a little bit, if he would have just stayed still, he might have bought himself a little bit more time. Now, I'm not saying that he wouldn't have got hit and they wouldn't have had any sacks, but there were several times where he tried to step up into the pocket and he got hit. And had he not tried to step up into the pocket, he probably wouldn't have gotten hit. Had he not tried to exit the pocket and use his legs, he might have had an opportunity for a receiver to get open down the field. And those are learning experiences that Patrick was talking about in the post-game interviews about being better. The throws, the interception, the pick six, the other interception, those are obvious. But when he's talking about being better, I guarantee you he's talking about not hanging his offensive linemen out to dry on several of those pressures from the Philadelphia Eagles.
Danon, it's so crazy to think that Patrick Mahomes isn't even 30 yet. And so when we look at this team and we're talking about it as a dynasty, or is it one of the greatest teams ever, it's not past tense. Like this window is still open. Don't you think so?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Tom Brady went 10 years between Super Bowl wins. And who knows? I don't know if Patrick has desires to play until he's in his 40s like Tom Brady. He's going to be able to keep his body in perfect shape like Tom and have the diet and all that stuff to do it. And then obviously be able to stay healthy. But the greatest of all time went 10 years between Super Bowl wins. That to tell us that the window is definitely not closed. And by all accounts, it seems like everybody, they were down. There wasn't very much talking going on. We didn't get very many post-game interviews. Everybody was down and sad and tears were flowing, etc. But I didn't hear of anybody saying they were ready to be done. I didn't hear of anybody saying this was their last game as a Chief. Now, there's going to be attrition. There are going to be changes. That's what happens in the NFL every single year. Think about it. We played the Philadelphia Eagles two Super Bowls ago, and we only had 15 players on the team from that game, 15 starters. So that tells you that there's going to be turnover in this game. It's just a matter of how these guys use this experience to push them through the offseason and want to change the narrative about being a flash in the pan type of team that maybe some people think got lucky over these last 2 Super Bowl wins.
Danon, going to the Super Bowl for the Kansas City Chiefs kind of had to feel a little bit like old hat. And a lot doesn't necessarily translate on television. I think of those first couple of Super Bowl wins, I felt like the environment was pro Kansas City. Yesterday, watching on television, that felt like it could have been somewhat like a home field advantage for Philadelphia. Was that the case? Was that the vibe you were feeling before the game started?
Absolutely. Philadelphia Eagles fans, they came out, they showed up and showed out. And I give them credit because I didn't think that was going to be the case. I knew they would come out strong, but I didn't think they would come out as strong as they did because I felt like, New Orleans, although it's a ways away, it's driving distance. A lot of people, a lot of Chiefs fans that I met drove down. And I thought it was a little bit far for a drive from Philadelphia. So I thought we had that aspect in our pocket where we'd have a few more fans. But I get it. It's an expensive week. It's an expensive weekend. And to tap into that 5 of the last 6 years, that's tough for a lot of Chiefs fans. So by no means would I blame them. If I wasn't doing the broadcast, trust me, guys, I probably wouldn't have gone to each of these. But the fact remains is that the Philadelphia Eagles, they were more desperate. They had a little extra chip on their shoulder. You heard them in the post game where they talked about they were hearing all about the three-peat. They were hearing about being the better football team. They saw everything on ESPN and on Fox Sports about the Chiefs winning. I remember watching I believe it was on Friday morning, where everyone on Get Up on ESPN picked the Chiefs. I know several people on Fox picked the Chiefs. So that incentive, and remember, this team had won 10 straight games. They weren't a pushover. They weren't lucky to get here. They just weren't the number 1 seed in the NFC like we were. They were a really good football team, and they showed it.
Danon, this isn't really a football question, but I didn't realize until last week that yesterday was the first time that a sitting U.S. president was at the Super Bowl. From a security standpoint or getting around, and I know you're a broadcaster, so it's a bit different for you, but did you notice any security difference in New Orleans compared to the previous Super Bowls?
I will tell you this, and it had nothing to do with the president coming. During the week, it was like Fort Knox. Everywhere, not just around the team hotels, but around the city of New Orleans. There were Army National Guard, guys with rifles, and there are ladies and men coming from different parishes, different cities that were serving to secure the area. It was well lit. It was clean. Everything that you hear negatively about New Orleans, about safety and homelessness and people on the streets and being careful, you did not have any worries at all walking through New Orleans. Now, as far as the game was concerned, I get there so early before the game because we did a 4-hour pregame show. And so I couldn't tell you about the security with the president coming and so on. So to me, it was just the football. It was normal hat for a Super Bowl, but I think there were some concerns about New Orleans that were quashed from Monday through this morning. Heck, this morning I had trouble getting an Uber still through the security, and the game was over and fans were leaving. So they did a great job.
Well, okay, last thing for you. I know Andy Reid said after the game yesterday that the Chiefs will learn from this. And I guess They've been to 3 Super Bowls in a row and have had a lot of success. What do you think they learned or will learn from this because they've been so successful?
So the old adage that I was taught when I played with the Chiefs and actually earlier, even into my college days, is that you never stay the same. You either get better or you get worse every single day. And that's kind of got to be the mindset of a professional athlete in order to wake yourself up in the morning and in order to do what you need to do to be a better teammate, to be a professional. Let's face it, these young guys make a lot of money. And if you don't have a mindset of always trying to get better, and if you're not getting better, somebody else is getting better to take your job, and by default you're getting worse. That's what Andy Reid is talking about. So you shouldn't be surprised that maybe within the next week, within the next 2 weeks, you're going to see guys on Instagram, on Snapchat, videoing their workouts. They're already back to work, getting ready for the 2025 season. They're not going to just jump on a plane to Cancun or somewhere and spend a month away from it. This stings. It sits in your gut for a long time, and these guys are going to be propelled by this feeling, and that's what the coaches want. They want to see at times in adversity, what are you going to do? Are you going to show up? Are you going to get better? Are you going to be fighting? There's some question marks on the team. Guys like Wanye Morris, Kingsley Suamataia, 2 guys that were counted on as offensive tackles that kind of wet the bed this season. What are you guys going to do to get better to secure the job for yourself and not necessarily put us in a position where we have to move Joe Thuney out from being a Pro Bowl guard to play tackle so he could save our postseason lives? What are the other guys going to do? Jalen Watson coming back from injury, but got beat twice on 2 big plays in the Super Bowl. What are you going to do to get better so that we don't have to look for a corner in the draft or somebody to take your position? The running game. What did these guys? Jawan Taylor at the offensive tackle. A lot of questions. Travis Kelce didn't play his best game. What are you going to do this offseason to get better so that we don't have this sting and this sour feeling in our stomach? So there's a lot to go around this organization, not just the players, but the coaches as well. And that's what Andy Reid is talking about.
Well, Danon, I know it stings, but it was a heck of a season, and we had so much fun having you join us every week. This is our last time until next season, so we just wanted to thank you so much for all of the time, all of the conversations. You're awesome, and we can't wait to talk again next season.
Looking forward to it as well. It's been an awesome season talking with you guys. We've had a lot of fun, a lot of laughter, and I look forward to it next season. So thank y'all for having me. I'm glad we hit more people in the mouth than we got hit, and we'll look forward to doing some more damage this next season coming up.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. Thank you so much, Danon Hughes, Kansas City Chiefs radio analyst and former wide receiver. He's Michael Kelly. I'm Amy Mark Scores. It's the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the place for skilled skydiving instructors, accomplished airbrush artists, and proficient pediatricians. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter to hire, you're missing out. ZipRecruiter is the place that's so confident it can make your hiring easier that it lets you try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. So if you want the right candidates for all your roles, ZipRecruiter is the place to go. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Get dressed for the 10th anniversary of Jet Men's Fashion Week, February 16th at Energizer Park. It's a great event, raising awareness for men's prostate cancer through men's fashion. Redefine menswear with designers like Terry Singh, Holly Gibson, Julius Evans, Shop Ambition, and more, while supporting this great cause. Together, we can make a difference. Get more information about Jet Men's Fashion Week at kingmox.com/events.
Celebrate twice as much with NordVPN's birthday deal. Get 72% off and a coupon for up to 1 year free. Visit NordVPN and discover the benefits. Secure up to 10 devices with a single account. Encrypt your online traffic. Reduce the risk of phishing, scams, and malware with NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro. Get the special birthday deal at NordVPN.com. Additional terms apply. NordVPN.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to Big Wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Here's how to get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. Our US-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you, and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit lance.drurylaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
99 years. That's how long Overhead Door Company of St. Louis has been repairing and replacing garage doors for savvy homeowners. Since 1926, they are the only authorized dealer of Overhead Door brand products in the city. Always look for the iconic red ribbon to be sure you're dealing with the genuine, the original Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. For same-day garage door repair 24/7, call Overhead Door Company of St. Louis or schedule online overheaddoorsstlouis.com. That's overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
There is no better time to give your body nutritional support with Neovitin than right now. Start the new year off right with Neovitin 50 Plus multivitamins. Neovitin 50 Plus multivitamins give you a nutritional base with B vitamins to support energy, vitamins A and C for immune support, and our physician-formulated proprietary 4-ingredient blend for daily support that you won't find in any other multivitamin. Find Neovitin at your local Schnucks, Deerbergs, and online at neovitin.com.
I'm Brad Young. This is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Well, you're never going to believe it, but we have a winner in our Doobie Brothers ticket giveaway, and that winner is Joni from O'Fallon. And we don't know if it's Mo-Fallon or O'Fallon, Illinois, but it is O'Fallon. Joni, congratulations. You will go see the Doobie Brothers on September 4th at Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. You need to keep listening. We will be giving away Doobie Brothers tickets all week. They don't sing the song Doobie Doobie Doo.
No.
Doo 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 doobie doo.
Do you, or maybe this was just me, but when I was a kid, used to think the Doobie Brothers was such like it's such a dirty thing, the Doobie
Really?
Brothers. Yeah, because they were, what are they up to?
See, I always
Smoking
thought
the Doobie.
I didn't even know that because I think I didn't know what a doobie was. So I thought it was like Bill and Bob Doobie. I thought they were like the Smith
you
brothers.
think they were like Kelly Brothers, Doobie Brothers?
Yes, like the Hoffman brothers, heating and cooling or whatever. I thought they were like, well, there's Michael Doobie and Bob Doobie. They are the Doobie Brothers. Hey, Michael Kelly, speaking of Michael, will be joining me tomorrow again. Chris Ranji is gallivanting. We're going to stick around for the Dave Glover Show, which is next.
Everybody's looking at boobs. They grab everybody's attention.
I will say
they're like fireworks.
Seeing the world around you is so important. So take care of your eyes. And why would you trust them to just anyone? The